We're here. We're rocking. We're rolling. Let's go. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate your patience. Had to get some stuff together. Still currently like on top of my cords, but we're chilling. Damn, wound up being a late stream last night. I don't know if any of you guys caught that with Morantz. It was a great time. Literally didn't plan it at all. This guy was just like, yeah, hop in with me. I'm like, all right, sure. He's like, we're just both going to stream at the same time. I'm like, whatever you say, dude. And it was great. It was an awesome time. And really shout out to Morantz because one, he's just been so good to me since I've started YouTube. And two, he really is doing an awesome job right now, in my opinion, just kind of covering everything going on. And if you check out his channel, you'll see what I mean for yourself. You don't have to just believe me. You can go ahead and see it for yourself. But hopefully the stream layout is looking all right and the chat keeps updating. I'm trying to, kind of get myself situated here on this whole OBS situation. Um, damn, what did I have there? I had one more. So you guys can see the behind the scenes. I was low-key thinking one day to do a series called Building Tetron. I think that'd be kind of lit. Just basically step by step of like building a business and, like to me, YouTube is a business in a sense, but I don't know. I have no idea exactly what I'm going to do in the long run, right? As an individual and whatever. But one, I just like doing YouTube videos right now, and I can just show you like whatever I do decide to do or like try and build as some other type of business in my life. I could just show you right here, building Tetron, right? And these are the early OG days, so I appreciate all of you being here. Just literally talking about a stock I like. So I have really big plans for the long term, and just appreciate all you guys being there. Who we got in the chat? Kingsbury, thank you for being here. Jackson's, appreciate you. And yeah, hit that like button. He's spitting facts right there. Dobrimore, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I apologize. Hey yo, welcome to another video. Appreciate you being here. Yes, sir. Um, just want to quickly do this. Let's see. Share thoughts. Two. What's it? Conversation. Damn, I don't know what font that one was. Should I do that? How does that look? Funky? Where did it even go? It's like gone. But damn, guys, what a day. I'm really going to get into it. I'm not going to waste too much time on this, right? I'm going to get into what matters, which is information. Although this is not cooperating right now. Let's see. Oh, maybe it should just be bigger. Alright, how about that one? Alright, we'll worry about that later. This is good for now. To share thoughts. Boom. Just trying to get the stream organized. This is, the building Tetron side of things you're seeing here. Took me a while to figure this out, and you might think I'm like a newbie and whatever with OBS, but hey, that's alright. It's all part of the process. But yeah, let's jump right into it. So today, the big story is First Republic Bank. Very much controversial. A lot of people are like, oh, it's fine, or like, oh, it's going under. Then KeyBank, those are the common ones being talked about, and Schwab. I think that's the crazy one because everyone just thinks like that's a brokerage, and it's like, why are they struggling? But apparently, if you look at their balance sheet, things aren't looking too sharp, and that would make sense. And maybe we can go ahead and take a look at that later. But look at this, $5 billion, 61% down today, at its low as 17. And oh, what was that other one that was going crazy today? What was it, like WAL? But damn, 47%. That's crazy. Like that's actually crazy. And like, what is the craziest part about these two names I'm bringing up? I'm going to show you something nuts. I tweeted this out today at 12:15 it was p.m. Eastern time. So a little bit less than 3 hours in to the market trading. First Republic, like FRC, had been halted 25 times. 25 times. Like basically each time I started trading again, halt. Each time I started trading again, halt. Trade for like a minute, halt. All with volatility, but I understand it was volatile as a whole in the day, but just my tinfoil hat here, but I find it odd the banks were halted like every single second. Like I've never seen anything like that, and I don't have like a super amount of experience in the market, like decades or something like that, obviously. But does anybody recall anything like that at all? Like at any time? Like it's crazy. It's actually crazy. Signature Bank, shut down over the weekend, so that didn't even trade today. PacW, PacWest got smoked. a lot of other names. And Schwab is the real surprise to me. I think that's the one people are like, what the? Because look at that market cap. It all really comes down to market cap right now, the size of the company. 95 billion. Like, that's nuts. And it's funny, nobody realizes how many banks there are until something like this happens, right? It's like, whoa, oh my God, there's so many out there. Then it's craziness. And then, oh yeah, look at that US dollar coin back at $1. Look at that. I should pull that up real quick. I was talking about that the other day. Ooh, gotta also tweet this out. I just realized never did that. Never did that. But yeah, here we are. And later we'll go through monetary policy. We'll kind of talk about why that's a huge aspect of what's going on, in my opinion. Obviously, more than welcome to disagree. And I got to get the chat rolling on the side. Damn. Danzo, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. XFit, gang's all here. Daily Dimes, OG, let's go. Appreciate you. Suit, what up? Jim Kimmer called it JP Morgan's doomed. That's true. I heard he said that. He's like, JP Morgan's a fortress. We all know what that means. Better get my money out of Chase, right? Another day holding my favorite stock. It's FactSuit. I actually happen to buy 2 more shares today. I was like, you know what? I like the stock. I'll buy a couple shares. Why not? Jim Cramer also said that Silicon Valley Bank was a buy at 300 plus. You're right, Whiskey, and thank you for being here. It's crazy. We did say that. WEL Bank is coming back. Yes, I did see that. It seems like it made quite the rise. It was at like $7 at one point. And what did the close today? Like 21? What did I just have it at here? Oh, maybe that's a different one. Yeah, I forgot the ticker already. The one I just literally had pulled up. This isn't it. Whatever. I will come to me in a second. Check the rest of the chat real quick. See, is this also? Tell me, guys, real quick, if you don't mind. Is the chat updating on the screen even though I don't have it open? Because it's in all chat now instead of top chat. I know shout out XBit, I believe he was telling me that. David said, yeah, I already inverse Kramer. He preached GPM, so that means GPM's doomed. So the SPB was a buy, lol. Yeah, and it's crazy. Moody's credit rating was literally like A or whatever on Silicon Valley at the time going bankrupt. Like, how does that happen? Like, that's crazy. And then Charles Schwab is having troubles from contagion. John Diamond, thank you for being here. Possibly. I mean, it just started tanking since last Thursday, like out of nowhere. There's no real news on it. And Wendy, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. XBit, bank halt bingo. It seems like that. GME, let's go. GME stock, thank you for being here. Yeah, it's crazy. We should make the bingo card, right? It's crazy. Excuse me. But yeah, it's just nuts. Like just going through all these names. Like I was making a list of the tickers today, and also see I was taking some notes, doing my work notes vibes. You know, this is something else, but work notes. You know, just doing stuff on here. Some notes from when I was talking to Morantz yesterday here, but we'll kind of touch on all that. And again, shout out to Morantz. Yo, he's awesome. He's been so good to me. And he really is just covering, I honestly feel like personally, and go determine for yourself, the whole situation of everything going on just very well. And just giving a really real perspective. What was the other thing? Oh, I didn't tweet it out yet. Hold on. Give me a moment here, guys. Get everything rocking and rolling. Damn, I forgot to add the thumbnail, but you know what? We're just rocking with the. I'll add the thumbnail after because it started being a pain in the ass for like no reason. I don't really understand. But oh, good looks. All right, shout out to Mr. Producer. He just brought me a tablet. Mr. Clutch, my brother. Shout out to him. Dude, now I can get the chat rocking and rolling on the side here. Everything's going. So look at Bank of America. Oh, even that dumped a bit. Yeah, my friends like were texting me today. Like I've like some friends in like a stock group chat, and also I don't know. Maybe I should make like a stock group chat for us, just like all of you guys here that are coming to the streams, like that we could just be messaging during the day. Because for me, like I'm working, so like I really try and keep up with things. Like especially today, it was so hard to focus. It's like oh my god, like all these halts, like everything going on, and I'm like I want to keep up. But it'd be awesome if I had people like feeding me information. I could just be like obviously feeding as much back as I can when I'm in the office and stuff like that. But yeah, so I was texting my friends. They're like, "Yo, are you seeing this? You seeing that?" I'm like, "I'm telling you guys, GameStop's the hedge. That's just my personal opinion, but hey, that's just what I was telling them." Get this tweet out. All right, and appreciate all you guys showing me love on Twitter. Honestly, I really love Twitter. Like, I know there's like a lot of controversy around it, whatever, and like you don't have to like get political about it. Like, I mean, I just like the platform because I just think you can share your thoughts, and I enjoy the fact that like some people on there's like anywhere from like passive and like kind of how I roll. I feel like I'm not really like arguing with people on Twitter on the regular or like I don't even really interact. Like I just kind of throw around likes and like I just scroll through things and like read things. And I just like the passive approach generally, but then I love that there's anywhere from like super passive to just viewing, all the way up to people that are like strong opinions. They'll tell you their politics, they'll tell you exactly how they feel about every little thing, but not always like, and you can agree with it and disagree with it, right? I feel like that's good for individuals to decide. But I guess what I'm saying here is I just love that individuals that like GameStop tend to just focus on that. At the end of the day, you could see that shit in your feed and be like, you know what? I think it's stupid. Fine, whatever. Who cares? Like whatever side of it, whether it's politics or not, whatever it is, you just keep scrolling and think, all right, they have GameStop, I have GameStop. Like so be it, you know. Like that's just my opinion on it. But yeah, Credit Suisse, I got to check that out. Could be the next one. I saw their swaps were going up today. I don't know where I could find that. Let's see. Credit Suisse swaps. I'm sure there's gonna be some good stuff on Superstock. I'll have to check that later. I don't really even honestly check Superstock that much these days. Mostly Twitter because I feel like that's where I just see everything the fastest. And there's just I don't know. I just kind of like the Twitter vibes. But I just really love like being on there too. It's a lot of fun just tweeting out shit and like just sending gifs. Let's see. Rance is the GOAT. All banks contagion is the left's fault, but it's kiss the toasties. It's funny, John Diamond. And thank you for being here. Hit 30 after hours. Let's see. Damn. 30 as in like the swaps maybe. High of 453 base. Where did this? Oh, look at this. All these platforms now. Brave AI. I didn't even realize this was here. Very, very interesting. Let's see. Stupid Wall Street Bets account, but doing yard work, watching the stream. Hey, Rance, thank you for being here. Appreciate you, as always. The GOAT himself is here. But yeah, it's interesting seeing these swaps go up again. It's very interesting. Can only wonder what it means. Hit record, and then you'd have to think the pressure's on, and maybe it's like a little bit misconceiving the stock price being like 250, but like this is fairly large, 10 billion. Obviously, it's declined a lot in value, and what's interesting to me is it's been long talked about Credit Suisse being in trouble and like a lot of speculation surrounding it, right? And look how long it's just been in decline, literally since 2008. Like they never came back. So I think that kind of tells you how they operate. I mean, just from like a very zoomed out standpoint. But just the fact it was being talked about a lot, like what, back here even, there's like troubles when it was going from like 5 down here. It just continued sliding since, and like obviously there's just more pressure now. And I just find it interesting that this does seem to be kind of swept under the carpet. Maybe it's a good idea right now actually to look at like Credit Suisse 10K. Like let's look at their most recent filing. See what we got here. Deal pulled its equity out of Silicon Valley Bank. Yep, I feel like that low key kind of started it. Not gonna lie. It is funny that the things people be tweeting out, but Morantz, yep, and then Peter Thiel, yep, crazy, and then Trophy, XBit, Trophy's coming to us soon, I think. That's just my opinion at least. But let's see what Credit Suisse has got going on under the hood. Still really just learning how to analyze like bank financials because I was like I kind of mentioned it last stream. I've never really invested in a bank. I've only just invested in S&P 500 and funds that contain a bank, but not necessarily a bank itself. So still learning this, so bear with me here. But let's see. Quarterly reports. Okay. What's the difference? I guess we're gonna have to do both. Group. Okay. I just want to view it. Why are they making it so like what's going on here? Trophy from Morant. Hey. He deserves it. Respect. But also, yeah, important thing I want to show you quick before we start kind of digging into balance sheets and stuff like that again. Is it NASDAQ halts? This was updating in real time, and I had this open on my computer at work, just kind of keeping an eye on stuff. I'm like, damn, it literally won't stop halting because it would just naturally reset. Where is it? Where was I looking today? NASDAQ trader.com halts. Tagged you on the live stream last night. We had 800,000. Great job. Hey, that's awesome, man. Thank you. Yes, I did see that. I was like, holy shit. It's crazy. Yeah. It's honestly an honor to be on there. And like, you were killing it last. Are we back? Let's see. Hey, okay. We're back. We are back after a little bit of a delay. Hate to see it, but here we are. Don't even know what happened there. Literally just shut itself down. It's like, we are searching for a solution to the problem. And I was like, great. Thanks for doing that right now, right here. Right in the middle of everything I'm doing here. Crazy. Crazy. Or I got DDoS. No, I'm just playing. I don't think that's what happened, but. Okay, so now it's working here. Let's see. Yep. Alright, there we go. Everything is back rolling. Dude, I'm in like the spaceship right now. I'm like the lightning warrior at this moment in time. The whole background, I'm trying to. Lightning is, Oh, I realize because I think that one's changing connection. Maybe this will be even better without this. Oh. Nah, we'll rock with this. Like I said, guys, before, all learning process of the stream. So I appreciate you all being here, being part of this process. But what I was starting to pull up before was the halts today. If it wants to load. NASDAQ trader. Trading halts. I know I literally found this today. It was one of the first things I looked up. Damn. Just like that, mad people came back. Respect, guys. Really respect. Yes. Thank you. Nope. Everything, sorry, still just loading up because I just turned this thing on. Or, well, I didn't really turn it on. It just kind of restarted itself. But, like, whatever you want to call it. It's crazy. Look at this. All right, I'm going to show you guys something. I want to see how far it goes first. So this was from today, the trading halts. Okay. Ready for something crazy? Look how far down it goes. Check this out. What's loading? FRC. 43 occurrences, okay? And then let's go down through them. 1, 2. Okay, wait. Back to the top. Or was that the top? Okay. So here's the first one, right? Oh, this is from the top. Okay, so I guess we should start from the bottom. So here's the first one. 1 minute and 6 seconds into the day. So right away. And I wish I had a good chart on my. I really need to get. I think I have Thinkorswim on here. Whatever. I'm not going to figure that out right now. So I won't show you guys the charts. But I'll let you just kind of visualize it in your head. Or you can pull it up on the side, whatever. But that's not even the point of what I'm trying to say. So it's not that important. That's what I'm trying to say, number one. So 5-minute halt here. That's halt 1. Then halt 2. Right? Shortly after. Those don't count. That's not it. So 3, 4. And look at the time right here. So again, this is number 4. This is the time it's halted. This is the time it's resumed. And then keep an eye as I'm going through these right now of the resumption time right here, and then the next halt time to the next one. So we're at 4 right now. That one's not one of them. That's something else. 5, right? Shortly after again. Not one of them. 6. Again, keep an eye on the time. What? Okay. 7. Well, okay. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 21. Can you do something for me? 23, 24, 25. Look at that. That's 25 before 12 o'clock. That's insane. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Okay, so essentially 40 total halts on the day. Like, look how thinly spread out they are. Like, that's just nuts, right? Did I count 40 on the day or no? I think I was miscounting because it's kind of hard to like do it at the same time. It's not the best method to show you guys, but the number's very large. That's the point, and you just don't simply see that. And if you put in WAL, that one might have even halted more. All right, 46 again. That's just a general number because the few that have FRC that weren't there, and the volatility in WAL is actually just crazy. Like, and all I'm trying to highlight here is this is an insane amount of halts and like an insane amount of stocks in this list are big names. Like these aren't like Schwab. Excuse me, Schwab. That's crazy. It's on here 6 times today. And what this opened my eyes to as an individual, I thought, okay, if GameStop starts moving up very quickly in one particular day or a set of days, whatever, expect a lot of trading halts. That's just something I'm personally preparing for because I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know if this can happen with these stocks, like bank stocks, with all this craziness going on. Who's to say what could happen with GameStop, volatile shares? We haven't seen any significant volume in a long time. If you pull up GameStop right here, let's try Google Finance for once. Let's see if that's a little cleaner. I never ever do that. Let's see. Hey Tetron, hope all is well, man. Adam Austin, thank you for joining the stream. Hope all is well with you too. Pulling up GME right now because what I want to show is that there's not even like significant volume. So when significant volume comes back, we know for a fact XX a million amount of shares, right? Maybe XXX million soon amount of shares. They registered 2 individuals in their name, and we've seen no indication of insider selling, or we'll see what happens in the future, right? Numbers don't lie, filings don't lie. So I haven't seen any insider selling in a long time, and individuals evidently are registering a lot of shares. So that's a lot of shares that are just simply not going to trade hands, especially if there's like FOMO in some shape or form for whether it's just a news event, an elongated period of time, whatever it is. The fact that it's directly registered shares just shows there's a lot of shares not changing hands. And I've said this before on another stream where a great case study of this, and I've really been meaning to go back. It's a little stream from like a little bit over a month ago. I think I called it like GME delivering shareholder value brick by brick, because what I was focused on that particular stream, and again, I want to make a video of it. I want to go back, I want to clip it together and make this main point. This company right here, I really encourage everybody to look into it. Look into it yourself, and we could look at it at some point later, but I kind of want to keep the topic of the stream generally about the banks and just what's going on now, and because I do want to make that video at some point. But I encourage everybody to go look at it themselves, then go back and watch that stream, or look at it themselves and then watch the video when I come out with it, talking about it, and you can kind of compare what you think, because that's what this is all about, bouncing ideas off each other as individuals. And okay, so what are these, like news events? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even realize they did that. But whatever, that's not the point of this. This is the performance of the stock over the past 5 years. And I'll show you really quickly. It's performed very, very well, and it continues to hold up very, very well. And a lot of shares are registered in individuals' names that are running the company and executives, because guess what? Dillard's, it's a last name, Dillard. It's a family of individuals named Dillard. So they all registered their shares. They implemented shareholder value. Crazy. Mad annoying. This keeps disconnecting. I don't know where that rant cut off there. But what I'm trying to say is Dillard's implemented delivering shareholder value strategies such as regular dividends, 20 cents a piece per quarter. At the end of 2021 and the end of 2022, each respective December, they issued a one-time $10 dividend. So imagine you bought the stock a few years ago, or you were just a shareholder in it, as somebody running it, you could have made significant returns. We're talking 10x since here. And a lot of individuals running the company register their shares because guess what? It's a family named Dillard. They're the Dillards. So the Dillards all registered their shares and they're all shareholders themselves. So they implemented delivering shareholder value strategies such as the one-time special dividend, which in GameStop's case, maybe the one-time special dividend is an NFT dividend in some shape or form in the future. And then they could also have regular dividends down the line. And then on top of it, something else Dillards does, tons of shares get registered to individuals. And the reason that is super important is because they have share buybacks going and they haven't bought massive amounts of shares back. Like I want to show you real quick. And again, to clarify, like I'm not saying like go buy Dillard's. I'm just saying research it. It's a great case study because also I want to show you it's not even like they've grown their revenue massively or something. You're going to see like revenue growth like year over year because of like the pandemic and everything. And this is a quarter by quarter on this website here. See, but look at this, not even massive revenue growth, but look how much the stock price improved because they were delivering shareholder value. And they didn't even buy back a ton of stock. What I was getting at is just buying back a little bit of stock went such a long way over the past few years because they were all registering shares into their name because they just saw the stock was being shorted, as many other retailers have been. So all the people running the company are like, okay, let's make ourselves shareholders. Let's just hold our shares. Let's register them in our name and let's deliver value to shareholders because we ourselves are shareholders. And you might think, oh, well, they're just doing it for their own benefit. No, doing it for their own benefit is what Silicon Valley banks did, right? The executives. What they're doing is they're aligning their interest with shareholders. Just the same as GameStop's doing, evidently. And I think that's what's coming in the long term. And that's why free cash flow positive right now coming up is like really, really exciting. And the idea that GameStop can grow with using Web3 as their growth engine, that to me is really exciting because, again, if you look at Dillard's revenue, it's not like they're doing anything outstanding. And GameStop's still in the process of, just kind of trimming the fat and just getting rid of, like Marantza said it, the old compensation packages, those are still being like paid off. Old leases are still kind of being wound down, such as, for example, the Kentucky distribution center is not even going to be finally closed, I think, until like June of this year. So still a couple more months on that. And that's been like in the shutdown since like months ago that was announced. So these things take time and it won't show up in the numbers right away. Because people say, oh, GameStop's losing money or oh my God, they're going to go bankrupt. And they're just simply not looking at the numbers. But again, an example of shareholder value being delivered. And right here, I believe GameStop will do that in the long term and we'll see a much bigger upwards trend. But that's just my opinion. And I think we'll look back in hindsight one day and to think people thought this was the top, it's going to be remarkable to look back and that's going to look like tiny. But that's just what I think. See, 27 GME after hours earnings. That would be crazy if it went up to 27. That would be quite interesting, but I'd be for it. I think that'd be awesome, and it would make sense. It hasn't made any kind of move in a long time, so I think it's definitely viable to happen. But at the end of the day, I'm just holding, so that's what it's all about, just the long term. So no matter what happens in the short term, it's whatever. I bet we'll have more than 40 halts. I would not be surprised by that whiskey, honestly. It really seems like it'll be that way. But yeah, let's go over to I talked about the trading halts, Credit Suisse. That's something I think is a good idea to look at. Oh yeah, everything like had crashed. That's what it was. That's what threw off my momentum. But yeah, I was looking at a lot of different tickers here. As this is kind of loading up, I'll read it to you guys. Zion, Zion, EWBC, CMA, Bank of Hawaii, BOH, KeyBank, KEY, MCB, PACW, FRC, which is First Republic, WAL. I should have wrote the names, right? I was just scribbling down at work, like real quick, like on the side, like, oh, which ones keep halting? Like, and again, you could just look at this list yourself of all the halts from today and you'll see it. And there's definitely other ones on there I didn't include. Like for example, this one, RF. I want to quickly pull this up. This one had a really interesting day. I thought it was way down and it started coming way back. So I wonder how it closed. Yeah, look at this. Started way down and then just like nothing happened. It's really interesting. Credit sus. Just kidding. Investor relations. Damn, still can't believe the laptop crashed. Totally killed my momentum before. But we're here. We're rocking. We're rolling. Oh yeah, this was something I kind of noted today. I just had a thought to myself, like, let me write this down. It almost seems like banks like First Republic wouldn't have made it through today if it weren't for all those halts. I mean, I understand there's volatility halts, but like, just endless halts. And I mean, come on, let's be honest. If you're a market maker, you have a lot of power. You're gonna tell me they can't prepare any moves in those 5 minutes, especially when it starts resuming trading and then it instantly halts again. There's plenty of time then to like prepare all these moves to move like massive amounts of money in various ways, right? That's all I'm kind of theorizing here, but I don't know. That's just a thought I had. And then additional thought, which I already kind of said, is GME could be halted many times. So that's kind of my thought process today. And funny, I wrote another note here that I want to pull up super quick, and then we'll actually get into this. Um, this one was on Yahoo Finance. It was an article. Um, Crime breaks, LOL. Yeah, facts. Craziness. What Silicon Valley Bank did, I understand people are like, oh, they should just let them burn, but like the people shouldn't get screwed. But the problem is, and it just simply is not getting fixed, nobody ever gets in trouble. If nobody gets in trouble, and it's just known, and again, Morantz has done a great job of highlighting this, and I mean, he's not the only one saying it, but just the way he's like explaining things and his perspectives, doing an awesome job. But point is, and I think a lot of people see it, I see it this way too. If nobody ever gets in trouble, like look at 2008. It's just a pee-pee whack, right? Like a slap on the wrist. It's nothing. Like it's not like you're behind bars. Like nobody gets in trouble. Nobody cares. Nobody like will stop doing the same thing. And I saw the best meme I think was like, what was it? I just had it on my mind. It was like the best way to rob a bank is to own one because of like what the Silicon Valley Bank guys did, like literally selling shares, CEO, CFO, and like CMO, right? Like chief executive officer, chief financial officer, chief marketing officer, or maybe even the chief risk officer. Who knows? Knowing how it was over there, we're literally like old Lehman people. Like one of them was like an old Lehman guy who went over there. I think there was someone else who was from Enron. Um, I don't know, maybe another name on there. But point is, they saw the writing on the wall. They started selling all their shares like weeks ago. Like it's just so fucked up that that's allowed to happen. Like, and this is why people are so angry. And it's like just the more divide and like I don't know, just a lot of narratives and I feel like it's always now like it used to be like us versus them, but now it's like us versus us, if that makes sense. And like I never like to say like groups or anything like that. Everyone's an individual at the end of the day, make their own decision, but we live in a world where you feel obligated to take a side or the other. And if like you're like, like I don't really care on this issue, like you don't totally think that? What? Or that? Like you're here? Like I don't know, it's just so bamboozling to people. And I really, really just try not to get tied up in things like politics and like too much controversy because I feel like something I'm learning and like I'm not like super wise or anything like that, nor am I trying to be, but I just feel like I'm realizing you gotta look at things and like if you just get caught up in bullshit, like or arguing with people about nonsense, instead of just reading deep into things and looking for facts and just becoming super knowledgeable on whatever it is, whether it's stocks or whatever, that's how you don't get knowledgeable because you're distracted with all the noise and whatever. Like if you just look for the facts and like focus on the research and just focus on the topic itself rather than like the politics of it, or like maybe it doesn't necessarily have politics in it, but if there's sides, so to speak, like you don't have to really be intensely. You could just kind of observe, and I just feel like that's really important right now. And that's kind of the whole psych up against GameStop stock, in my opinion. And like, oh no, it's this. Oh no, it's that. Or like, oh, this is the next play. Oh, that's the next play. And then it's like, you don't think it's the next play? You're an idiot. Oh, you're a shill, right? Like it's like, and then oh, you think all the plays are it? You're a shill too. No, you're the real shill. No, you're the shill. And then instead of like each person just going their own way, doing their own research, like just coming to their own conclusions or being able to strengthen their argument in any way, they just get caught up in nonsense. Um, but yeah, crazy. Um, 1% crime, facts, whiskey. It really just drives me nuts that it's allowed to happen, but I try not to stress about it too much because if you drive yourself nuts, it's not good, right? When AMC 0? Not soon enough. I don't know. But oh, you just reminded me, shoot. Hey, Fresh Maker, thank you for joining. The number one, the OG, who helped me figure out my mic, that you actually have to plug this thing in here completely. Otherwise, the headset wouldn't work. Because I literally thought I bought the mic. It didn't work in the early streaming days. But here we are. Shout out to you, Fresh Maker. But, shoot, you reminded me something. This guy on Twitter, you know what I was saying before, like everybody has like their own opinions. Like some people are like super like for this and for that. I like this guy KN, K_ENN, you better known as Market Watch Sucks Donkey Dong. like I'm gonna actually I don't know if you can pull up Twitter, whatever. I'm just gonna show you right here real quick. It's mad funny. I mean, he's an interesting follow because he strictly just loves like GME. Like they literally quoted him in an article, so he changed his name to Market Watch Sucks Donkey Dong. So I don't think I'm showing it that great, but mad funny. Um, whatever. So on Twitter, some saw the sudden panic as a chance for meme stocks to individually and give GameStop a new edge. Best case scenario, this is where GME and AMC decouple and they try to shake GME holders while the rest of the market falls. It's funny. And that was from November 26, 2021. And MarketWatch put it in. And so he changed his name to MarketWatch Sucks Donkey Dong. And it literally said that in the article because it was like a live thing of the tweet, which I just thought was like mad funny. And it is funny because I'm looking at the comments on here and people are like, oh, AMC shill. And he's just roasting them since day one. So he's always roasted them, but he tweeted this out today. And damn, I got to plug this in real quick. Damn, he had a great. Oh, okay, listen to this. This is Adam Aaron, guys. It's like a recorded thing.
Guys, don't believe everything you read on Twitter. Yes, it's true that we have a lot of short sellers who have sold our shares short. But all the stuff that you read about market manipulation, available delivers, and all this other stuff, and there's millions of synthetic shares out there, that's not our problem. Guys,
Listen again.
don't believe everything you read on Twitter.
Especially this first part. He's literally saying, don't believe everything. And he's like, listen, it's all, like, he's trying to backtrack, trying to cover his ass. You know what I mean? And damn, I just realized the chat not even updating this whole time. That's crazy. Has it been? Maybe. I don't know. I hope so. Hey, no problem. Are you in summertime now? It's 1 hour earlier for me. Nah, it's still winter time here. It's still pretty cold. It's actually supposed to snow, which is kind of crazy. But yo, listen to this again one more time. Literally Adam Aaron himself right here.
Guys, don't believe everything you read on Twitter. Yes, it's true that we have a lot of short sellers who have sold our shares short. But all the stuff that you read about market manipulation, and available delivers, and all this other stuff, and there's millions of synthetic shares out there, that's not our problem. Guys, don't believe everything you read on Twitter.
He literally is saying it himself because he's like, and KN tweeted this. Market Watch Sucks Donkey Dong. Shout out to him. He said he's really trying to save his ass now after trying to ride the coattails of the GME narrative, encouraging misinfo to be spread through quote unquote AMC quote unquote influencers. Jail for you at CEO Adam. And yeah, I mean, the great point is that his first tweet in like literally years was like, I'm joining Trades for investor interview, whatever. And his board probably said, yo, do it. Like, or go on one of those YouTube things and like, we can raise money off these people and like keep this shit going, keep this circus going, right? And now, like from the shiny NFTs, like AMC's strategy has been show love to the retail investors, right, to the individual investors, and give them shiny things. Like remember the movie NFT, or have this ape preferred dividend, and now we have popcorn in the grocery stores. I actually have to go look for that this week. I'm literally like spinning all over the place, like making fun of this guy. I want to actually look for that in the store for fun. I gotta look for it and I gotta try it. And I think I could be pretty honest with the review. Like, if it's not bad, I'll tell you. But like, it doesn't even matter. It could be the best fucking popcorn in the world. It's not gonna make the money. It's just a gimmick. It's another stupid gimmick, and that's why I don't like AMC personally. Like, and I just understand why people are frustrated because it's the whole thing has just smeared the narrative of what GameStop is because of the forced association, and all they've done is just fuck people over, and it's just honestly messed up, and it's just a result of like poor management, in my personal opinion. But damn, 2 streams back to back. You know the Rhymes Ryan song. Thank you for being here. But yeah, last night was so crazy. I just had to make one real quick, and I'm like, damn. Well, I usually stream Monday, so what am I not going to do it today? I gotta. Um, But 50 shares today. Hey, I mean, it was a dip. It's a good price to buy. Earnings are coming up. Anything could happen. Sure, it could be volatile for sure. Morantz was saying before he thinks it's going to go to like 27, I think he said, or he thinks it's going to like back in the 20s. But that would be crazy. And hey, we haven't had any volatility in GameStop in quite a while, it feels like. Can we get your stale bag of popcorn? That's right, Adam Austin. um, Fresh Maker have 500 euros in the back. Don't know when to buy. Hey, keep it ready for whenever and whenever you deem is best as an individual. That's what it's all about. Or just buy a little here, buy a little there, whatever you think is best. That's how it goes. Just kind of what you think, and like I feel like it's like a game. Like, ooh, and can I buy the lowest point in the day? Like, if you're gonna like go into the day, like, okay, I plan to buy a GME share today. Like for me personally, I'm like, okay, let me see if I can time it right. Should I buy right at the beginning? Should I buy like after that little morning run up, and then we see that little decline? Like it tends to do that generally. I don't know, but then sometimes you buy at the top and you're like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna hold this shit forever anyway, so or for a long as time, so it doesn't even matter. But what I wanted to show on this key bank thing here real quick, and then I want to get into Credit Suisse's investor relations. Check this out. 3-year total shareholder returns outpace underlying earnings growth. So share price is down 9% in the last month, but we wouldn't complain about the gain over the past 3 years. It beat the market return of 49% in that time, gaining 57%. Okay, but I bet Key was up way more. Now it's just started dropping like a rock, so you have to pull out that stat, right, to make it look like it's not so bad. Although Key Corp has shed 2.3 billion in market caps this week, let's take a look at long-term fundamental trends and see if they're driven results. And they start to say, like, look, everything looks good, it's still growing, it's in good financial standing, right? Trying to just, nobody panic, everything's fine. That's what you get when stupid old gizzards are in charge of the country. It's always funny to me when there's Yahoo Finance like comments. Like, I've never commented on it. Not that many people do. I feel like it's very rare, but this is just mad funny. Like people just saying that, and I feel like this individual himself is probably a little bit older if he's commenting on the Yahoo Finance, but who knows? At the end of the day, they like pump up this company, right? Like, oh, everything's fine. And I bet if we took a look, it's probably not fine for Key Corp. Let's just see at a glance. I mean, this only tells me like very, very basic stuff, right? As Yahoo Finance, but very, very basic stuff's all you need sometimes. Look at this, still 16.9 billion in market cap. Look at the cash to debt. Look at this. Not good. Look at the return on their assets. Not good. Return on their equity. I mean, almost no insiders sold shares. Look at their balance sheet. Can you get? I forgot. Is it on Yahoo Finance? It is somewhere. Or they don't have more than this, but it's not good. Book value per share not very high. I mean, these are just some, again, very, very simple aspects. We'll take a deep look. But where I'm going with this is they'll write these articles. Like, it's all just about narratives, guys. It really is just all about narratives. They'll write these articles for this like company that looks like it's going to shit, might be poorly managing its money. They're like, well, look at these 3 great things. But then look at GameStop's articles. And I feel like any bank that's trending right now, if you see your bank on there, it's like, oh shit. Like, that's what I thought when I saw Ally. I was like, come on, I have online savings there. Like, not much. And again, as an individual with way less than 250,000, like, at the end of the day, I don't care because FDIC insured. But at the same time, I don't want to deal with that crap. Like, I'd rather move my money before some shit happens. Oh, really? You couldn't find anything on GameStop? I find that interesting. Usually, if there's tons of BS to spew. Yeah, so that are must sell in March. GME stock sinks as market gains. What you should know. Closed at 1865, making a negative 0.27 move from the previous day. As if that's not the most simple move ever. All these like garbage articles. And this is a company with $1 billion in cash. Again, it's all about narratives because evidently they're fine. And even if they lost money for the rest of this year, they're still fine, which I don't even really think is the case considering free cash flow was positive in Q3. I personally think it's going to be positive again this quarter. But I weigh the possibility that maybe Q1, Q2 of next year, it's slightly negative, more so close to even, just because it's the first half of the year. And historically, GameStop does more business in the second half of the year. And I think that'll kind of round out as they get more into Web3 and e-commerce and things like that. Of course, e-commerce is still hotter near the holidays, but I feel like that'll round out more with Web3 because Web3 is just digital communities and driven by like individuals using the platform. So it won't matter what time of year it is. Point is, free cash flow could go a little negative like Q1, Q2. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. The company's still in good financial standing. It's as simple as that. And go look that up for yourself. Don't just ever fucking believe anybody on the internet that's just randomly telling you that, especially in this day and age. There's so much shit out there. Do your own due diligence. Like, I'm just a guy on the internet at the end of the day, but I'm not going to lie to you, but you should still check what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to ever BS you guys, but I'm not saying I'm BSing you in any way. Don't take it like that. But what I am saying is always just look things up. Do your own due diligence. Because if you don't and you just look at these headlines, you would think KeyBank's a good investment and GME is not. But like if you look deeper, KeyBank looks like it has tons of problems, and that's just at a glance. At GME at a glance, it's like, okay, if you just maybe at a glance, you're like, oh, the company loses money, or oh, how are games going to grow? But if you look into Web3, you understand that they're shifting towards profitability. They have people running the company that they themselves are shareholders, being compensated in shares, and no insider selling. That's a huge thing too. Great quote out there is insiders could sell for a multitude of reasons, but there's only one reason they buy. They think the stock price will appreciate. I forgot who said that. Somebody very smart, but can't remember off the top of my head. But it makes sense because it's like there could be, oh, I need to sell for tax purposes. Oh, I need to sell. Remember like Adam Aaron's whole bullshit? I'm selling some shares for retirement, like or whatever shit he said. Like total BS because he knew the stock price was going down. It's not worth that much. Just like all the other AMC insiders, and that was just the number one indicator for the longest time for me for AMC. Like they're all dumping their shares. If there's a MOAS for AMC, why are they dumping their shares? It doesn't matter if they're going to retire or not. They believe in the value of the asset. So that was the first red flag, and then obviously a lot has happened from there. But point is, GME, it's unlike the rest in my opinion, and I just think where it's going, it's a little bit of a rant there, but hey, I think it's going up in the long term. And if you just read focus on the narrative instead of like reading the actual investor relations, like don't read the articles, read the actual investor relations. That's like the source itself. No, I don't want this stupid news subscription. Um, Let's see. Popcorn salted with retail tiers. Damn, that might be it, whiskey. That's probably how they have it. They're probably like, well, you can work at AMC. Internship, work for free. That's what they'll probably say. Like, crazy. I wonder why they don't offer sweet popcorn. Dude, because the stock price is not sweet, or AMC's not sweet. I don't know. I smell Moas. Hey, Mahari, thank you for hopping on. Appreciate you. Seems closer than farther, right? Liar? Morantz, what can I say? I'm a big fat liar, big fat meanie. That's what I am. Oh, Peter Lynch said that. 420 Bonk Smoke, nice name, and thank you for being here. But yeah, no, I did know that. Peter Lynch, yes. A big guy. Yeah, never. Peter Lynch, who's that again? No, I'm just kidding. But yes, thank you for clarifying. But all right, let's look at this. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. The delay of the actual report. Um, Finance funds even made an acquisition. What? Oh yeah, I forgot. I literally forgot about this. I did because see, this is the problem too. With you get caught up in narratives and everything going on, and just so much happening at once. I said this in my last stream. Things can get missed, and I kind of like missed this. Forgot about this. This was like what 4 days ago. A technical delay of publication of the annual report. Convenient timing. Let's see. In relation to certain open SEC comments about the technical assessment of previously disclosed revisions to the consolidated cash flow statements in the years ended December 31st, 2020 and 2019, as well as related controls. Okay, but it will delay the 2022. But what about, okay, 2021 is accurate, but what does that have to do with now? Like, that doesn't seem right. For more information, see Note 1 Summary of significant accounting policies, revisions of prior period financial statements to the consolidated financial statements for the period ended December 31st, 2021, and our annual report on 20th. Okay. Management believes it's prudent to briefly delay the publication of its accounts in order to understand more thoroughly the comments received. Sure. We confirm the 2022 financial results are previously released on February 9th, 2023 are not impacted by the above. Interesting. Interesting. And wait, Credit Suisse is like a Swiss bank, right? Like, that's kind of a stupid question, but let's confirm. Let's see where their headquarters are. Yeah, based in Switzerland. I always just think of Switzerland, the Wolf of Wall Street, when they're like taping the money to the chick, and they're like, and she's like, yeah, he's like, bring your whole family. You got to bring all our money over, or like whatever, like, because the rules apparently in Switzerland are that foreign you can't foreign regulators can't see anything in like a Switzerland trust or something like that, and that's why like his reports are like foreign trusts or like I don't know exactly, but I thought that was funny in the movie, and you have to wonder though, like, are the Swiss rules like that, and that's why so much has been parked away at Credit Suisse. Like those swaps that are exploding in volume right now. Like I make a silly analogy to the movie, but I'm like, is that like real? Like now that I'm thinking about it, Credit Suisse, or I'll say Switzerland banking rules. I mean, that's a very I probably should use like Chat GPT enabled. Let's see. Banking, an unequal global financial system. Leaks en masse. Okay. When is this from? Last year, over a year ago. What are these? Okay, so they're like talking. Okay. However, even after Swiss CRS data started changing hands in 2018, critics argue that the country's commitment to the system had created a zebra strategy. On one hand, Switzerland's banks could take clean money from clients in industrialized developed countries where part of automatic exchange of information agreement. But the door had not been shut to accepting funds from potentially dubious? What kind of a word is that? I've never seen that, I don't think. But whatever, clients from developing countries. I gotta know what it means officially now. Because it's probably something super obvious. And then everyone's like, you idiot. Just kidding. Uncertainty. And this is what research is all about. And this is why I do this live on stream. Don't be like, oh, I'm just going to skip over this. Like, even a stupid thing like dubious. I want to learn what the fuck this means. Fraught with uncertainty or doubt. Undecided. Okay. Undecided, doubtful. Okay. Questionable character, right? And this is interesting, the whole AI Brave. It's interesting how every browser is now going to have an AI thing implemented. Kind of scary, but whatever. So, shady characters from developing countries or, unsure characters where authorities investigating tax evasion did not have automatic access to their citizens' secret Swiss accounts. Interesting. Despite many claims on the contrary, banking secrecy is not dead, said Dominic Gross, a tax and financial analyst in Switzerland's global banking system think tank Alliance Stud. More than 90 countries, among them some of the least developed in the world, have yet to exchange banking information with Switzerland. As far as this country is concerned, nothing is compared to the past. Credit Suisse says it strongly rejects the allegations and inferences about the bank's perpetrated business practices emanating from the Swiss secrets leak of its data, emphasizing that it maintained a strict zero tolerance policy towards tax evasion and is fully committed to complying with global tax transparency efforts. Reputation as a tax haven, despite signing up for CRS, the landlocked Alpine country's financial system is the third most secretive in the world after the Cayman Islands and the U.S. According to, back up a second, after the Cayman Islands and the U.S. See, it's so secretive that they can pull all this bullshit that happens with Silicon Valley. They even say it like it's crazy. It's actually crazy. And yeah, Cayman Islands is definitely the most secret one. I mean, look at FTX. They were like, look at what happened there. Like, it's just insane in hindsight. And the fact that everyone was giving that dude money, Sam Bankman-Fried, well, he's literally playing League of Legends in meetings. Like, it just shows you like what a circus it really is at the top. And when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, why can't I be somebody big one day? Like, and I really think it should inspire everybody out there. Like, not that I want to be like a big venture capitalist necessarily. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if I do, I want to be some type of Larry Chang guy. You know, like Larry Chang seems like just such an awesome dude, and like just has like objectives and just likes to put in the work, right? And that's why he likes Ryan Cohen and their boys. Um, Hence why he gave him the first capital. Obviously, he saw something in him, and things have worked out very nicely. But what I'm saying here is, if these idiots were giving this guy money while he's playing League of Legends, bro, like, come on. Like, how does that happen? How do you not notice? And, like, you can check on League of Legends because I played the match history and the exact time. So, like, people just got his username and were looking and started backtracking. And you looked like, even, like, I'm pretty sure, like, some of his freaking, like, I think this was on the CoffeeZilla Joe Rogan podcast, was really good listen. They were talking about, they had a really, really good convo. Even if you don't like either of those dudes or you're just like one of them, I think it's totally worth listening to. I thought it was like a really, really eye-opening conversation. But they were basically saying how even if like people were checking, like CoffeeZilla was bringing up that people were checking Sam Bankman-Fried's League of Legends name, and like while he's like like dealing with all this shit, trying to lie his way out of it or BS it, whatever he was doing, and he starts tweeting and all this stupid shit. He's literally playing League all throughout that. It's like, bro, what is wrong with you? Like, it's crazy. Absolute madness. More like credit sus. I agree. Credit sus. Credit Suisse, credit sus. Did you see a recent Larry Chang tweet yesterday? Difference between owning an asset and owning the right to an asset? Jackson's, I'm glad you brought that up. Because somebody said it, and Mahari, 100%. I think you're onto what I'm about to say here. Um, let's see. Twitter. Did I spell his name wrong? Roast me if I did. Let's go. I got it right. Um, let's see. But yeah, I think it's a reference to registering your shares, right? Indirectly. But of course, we can never know that for certain. Um, and this is, let's see, an old tweet. Okay, so let's just check out this tweet because, you know, whenever I come across something old, I'm like, well, let's see if this rings true now. This is from July 2022. Damn, that's crazy. It's already like 8 or 9 months ago at this point. The invisible hand, and then I'll show you guys today's tweet, or yesterday's tweet, rather. The invisible hand of decision making is one's timetable. One could make very different decisions in the same situation based on whether they're focused on outcomes in 1 day, 1 year, 10 years, or 100 years. Very true. I'm focused on the long term as an individual in GameStop and just building my channel. It takes unique discipline to stay philosophically committed to one's timetable and align decision making around that timetable, especially when it's markedly different from prevailing sentiment of others. Kind of sounds like GameStop, right? Because we're looking as individuals that believe in the stock that are invested. Everyone on the outside, I feel like thinks, oh, these like crazy traders like YOLOing options and just like YOLOing on GameStop. Like, no, I'm invested, baby. I'm in this for the long term. So that's my timetable, and that's what I'm making my decisions around, and that's why I don't care that I bought at higher points. Like, of course, I always wish I got in lower, and that's why I'm still buying shares now to average down. But at the end of the day, I know my timetable's long term, so I think that could be a reference to that. But, you know, in general, this is good information here. As an example, you'll see many investors pass on investment opportunities today because of lack of clarity on the next year or two, given the tumultuous economic climate, despite the fact their mandate is to generate disproportionate outcomes in 5 to 10 years. Yes, and I think reference to GameStop, because if you look at what GameStop's been doing, they're not taking out debt. And like Ryan Cohen's even had a tweet about this, like I think in 2021 even, where he basically said, what is it? Uh, low interest rates are like easy sex. Great, but could be lethal or something like that. Like bad funny. And he's right because it's great, right? When everything's great and the economy's good, but then when things start struggling, and look, we even have like hashtag banking collapse fucking trending. Then everything changes, right, in a heartbeat. And suddenly, when interest rates are higher and the economy's not good and you're stuck with that debt, it's not good. So now you have a company in GameStop that has strong free cash flows and like no debt right now. And any company with no debt right now is honestly sitting really pretty compared to most of the other companies. And if you look at companies with no debt right now, I feel like they've held up very well relative to these other ones. But hey, GameStop hasn't, but I think in the long term, that's all going to balance out. Generally, when the market obsesses about the near term, that can leave great opportunities for those investors who remain disciplined and focused on their longer term timetable. Facts, because traders move the markets, algorithms move the markets. Um, bears make money, bulls make money, pigs get slaughtered, right? So you have to have like clear direction how you feel. I feel like that's a good quote too. Um, Enough with the cryptic and cringeworthy falsities. Tell me, how on earth will glorified ape JPEG exchange be profitable? See, this to me right here tells me this guy is. I don't know if this is what is. I drew the lines and waves everywhere. Bag holder since see to me, this is not a real account. This is a BS account. That's what I call it. There's some of these out there that are just sus, like just putting out negative sentiment. I don't think anybody that's holding GameStop really believes this because one, these are digital assets we're talking about here. It's not about the monkeys ape. Like people who think NFTs are JPEGs, I don't even try and explain to them what GameStop's doing with it because they're just simply oh, NFTs, they're bad, bad, bad scams. No, no, don't talk about those games. If GameStop touches them, I don't like it. Like that's generally the topic of like that's what the media has told everybody to think, so everybody thinks it, right? But if you look at it like in very simple terms and like it's digital assets in games. That's what they're trying to do. It's not about like the JPEGs. Like the art is just one corner of it. What's out there now and people are doing for design, some of it is just for design and for fun. And that's part of it too, because how do artists make money these days? Like it's so hard for them to, especially with like digital art, everything going so digital. Graphic designers, I think they should be able to get something, get some royalties on their NFTs. And if you think it's silly to own it, so be it. But then you can focus on the actual digital assets with utility, and I think that will drive everything. And then indirectly, the artwork aspect of things, the art side of it, could come into play a little bit here and there. But things like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, like I don't know how I feel about that. It seems kind of silly. I don't want to be in it, right? And but it's a membership pass, and there's like the Full Send NFT. That's another one. That's a membership pass. Gary V's NFT. You can go to his conferences. So those have some kind of utility behind it, and I really think that's what drives it. And then artwork is just if you like the artwork, that's you can get into it for that. But like that's not going to be the driving thing. And the fact that was the driving thing previously with NFTs, I feel like has everybody's mindset skewed right now. And I think M underscore OAS here has a great point. Instructions clear. I hold or hodl or both. And it's like, yeah, it's just believe in the stock long term. But yeah, a little bit of a tangent there. Let's go to today's tweet. Sorry, that was completely going too far. But yeah, I want to show you. It's probably like a immediate MOAS, just like at MOAS now. That account that follows me and always tweets, like it's just to like skew the name and just well look, it's Fall Guys, but more shittier and uglier, like all this stupid stuff. See? All garbage. Whatever. Let's see. Tempting but possibly fatal. Facts. That's what it was. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Facts. It's security. Car titles will be NFTs. I think you're right, XBit, and I think the other big thing is going to be sporting events, because to me it'd be just cool to have my GameStop wallet, like all the like hockey games I go to, for example, or imagine your goal, right? Like this is something for me because I love hockey. And it's not like a goal like I have to like necessarily check the box to do it, but like if I become wealthy enough and like I really want to travel a lot too, I'm gonna try and go to like every NHL arena just because I think it'd be an awesome experience. And like that's the kind of thing I want to put on YouTube too in the future. Like maybe it's not Tetron Invest, it's some other channel I rebrand to just be Tetron, but I don't know. Again, that's like talking probably decades down the line. If I do something like that, we'll see where the world's at. But point is, I love hockey and that'd be awesome for me. But the idea that I'd be able to get then an NFT like of my ticket from each game, I would have all the arenas in one folder, like in one wallet, and it would just be epic. And it wouldn't mean much to anybody else because it'd just be all random games. But to me, that would hold a lot of like personal value because those tickets, I'll be like, oh, that day, yep, I remember sitting there, that arena. Oh yeah, they had like for example, Columbus Blue Jackets. They have like a cannon. Like I was like, oh yeah, the Blue Jackets have the cannon, and maybe that is like iconic to the Blue Jackets, so that would be on their NFT, and then that's like the artwork style of it as well. So I just think that's like super cool. But I really just feel like NFTs are still so widely understood, which is just crazy. Yeah, home titles will be NFTs. It makes sense. Yeah, deeds, because right now, a deed of trust, like maybe I don't know if that's exactly what you're referencing, but if like deed of trust is generally just the name of the house and like information. Like I don't know that much about real estate, but I think that's what you're referencing here. If that is digital, right? Because I know when people need to have a deed amended or like re-register the deed to change the name, because like I work in like private assets. So when they re-register the real estate, they have to change the deed and they have to go to the county that the property's in, and like depending on the county, the state, whatever, it takes different amounts of time. Like I have one, like I work in transfers, so I have one transfer that normally the clients themselves have to do the re-registering of the deed, but the company in this case was going to do it for them. But it's been taking like 4 months, and I think a lot of it too is like based on the county, and like I don't know all the factors, but I think it take a long time. And like digitalizing it in the form of an NFT, I think could really change the game. And then I think wallets will develop a lot over time too to become more secure, more organized. And I think GameStop, already has the wallet, and they'll be on that, because while every other company's trying to create a wallet to like maintain things, GameStop will already have the like underlying thing, and they can like build it out in different ways. And maybe Gmerica has some aspects of the wallet pulled together, if that kind of makes sense. But we'll see. Damn, I'm sorry, I still didn't even like show this tweet here. One investor lesson best learned from the transition from bull market to bear market is entry pre-money valuation of the first check is far less important than dollar-weighted post-money valuation at exit relative to total preference stack, structure, and exit enterprise value. That wasn't the one, but I think that's just general, like more, cryptic stuff, as the people would say, but just general like ideas of like how the finance like should manage your money and just stocks and the markets. One lesson learned from helping companies navigate their holding in through SVB, there can be a substantial difference between owning an asset and owning the right to an asset. It's facts. Seed & Co. technically owns the share if it's registered in your name because it's in the ACAT system. If it's going broker to broker, the delta can show itself particularly in challenging times. Yeah, it's true. It makes sense. And in challenging times, right? Brokers not having shares available, that would be an example of a challenging time, right? Ahead of the curve, I think absolutely XBit. I think GameStop's just still misunderstood, very much so. But so be it, right? That's kind of the cool part about being in it before everyone else, honestly. I just think that's a great thing. By the way, 30 people here right now. I appreciate all of you. If you do me a favor, smash that like button. It'd be much appreciated. It'd be awesome. But I really appreciate all of you joining tonight. What did I want to pull up next here? So difference between owning an asset and owning a right to an asset. So you might think, oh, well, what does that mean exactly? So I'm going to show you something real quick. Charles Schwab transfer paperwork. And I showed this before, but I'll show it again. And I kind of want to highlight, and I really want to make a long Twitter thread on this one day, just to kind of reference in the future. Because again, I work in transfers, so it's allowed me to really understand. And obviously, like I personally am DRSing shares. I've talked about it before of GameStop. So I did my research on like how that works, what that means, like what is going on here. And happening to work in transfers department, which is crazy, but we're what's called a non-ACAT custodian, which means we're not in this like system because we don't deal with public stocks, so we don't have to be in it. So let me see. So you fill it out with everything. Is it a full transfer, partially transferred stock, cash, whatever? And how a transfer works when you open it. So when you do a DRS transfer, it's different. You contact your broker. You tell them you want to send the shares to the transfer agent. But when you're going broker to broker, let's say you're going Schwab, you're coming over to Schwab from TD Ameritrade. You're going to open the request with the receiving custodian. That's the rule of thumb. Because then Schwab will take the paperwork, make sure everything looks good, it's in good order, and everything matches. Like if you're transferring like a brokerage, it says brokerage to brokerage, not like brokerage to IRA, something like that, that would cause rejection. Or if I'm working at Schwab, I would then contact the client. Let's say you're the client. I'd be like, hey, you accidentally put like broker to IRA. Like, is your account over there in IRA? Because then you need to transfer to a Schwab IRA, or you need to, if you made a mistake, like we could just correct it and then we could do this broker to broker. Or sorry, when I say broker to broker, I mean like individual account to an individual account, not an IRA. But point is, then I'm Charles Schwab employee, right? I take the transfer request, everything looks good. I put a letter of acceptance, just saying we are willing to accept the transfer request, which is just basically a covered thing, digital signature on it, essentially. And then I fax over or send over through the back office. Well, I fax because I do non-DTC, non-ACAT, which ACAT is a system run by the National Securities Clearing Corporation, which is an entity of the DTC. So it's all just under one giant umbrella. But what happens is then, if I'm the Schwab employee, I take the transfer request with the letter of acceptance, send it into the ACAT system, request whatever it needs. It's all an electronic system. Boom, boom, boom. I don't have to physically like re-register like physical shares. That would be super old school. But they all have this right here, right? Check it out. I don't know why it zoomed out, but the Schwab clearing number. This is their ACAT number, their DTC. Check this out right here. And then if I look up E-Trade, right? Like another random custodian transfer request. So all of these brokers have it. And you always, again, sure. No, fuck. Just show me the form. I don't want this crap. I'm trying to make a point here. Oh my goodness. I remember E-Trade's form specifically. There we go. I guess they just added it so you can like. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. So transfer, let's see. Okay, transfer money, external funding account. So move money externally to and from an outside institution. Let's see why this 100% changed since I last see it. There's supposed to be like just a simple transfer form. Okay, yes, there we go. Transfer an account to E-Trade Securities. Electronically transfer ACAT system to brokerage to E-Trade. Again, you'd always do it through the website, right? Through the receiving custodian. And look at what they have here. DTC number. Boom. That's for reference because they're in the ACAT system. Can I transfer two accounts from the same brokerage over with one form? No, one form each. What's the difference between ACAT and non-ACAT transfers? Great highlight right here. ACAT transfers are automated customer account transfer service, ACATS, requests that are submitted electronically through a system that facilitates the transfer of securities, facilitated by the National Securities Clearing Corporation, which is an entity of the DTC, and the DTC's participant is Seed & Co. So and Seed & Co., if you're in Seed & Co., you have to have a DTC number because all the shares are registered in Seed & Co. for the benefit of the broker number and then your name on there. So it would be like, for example, if you went over to E-Trade from Schwab, the shares would be re-registered from Seed & Co., whatever. It'd be like Seed & Co., this number, like FBO, which stands for the benefit of, or like whatever the technical thing is. It'd be like Seed & Co., Charles Schwab clearing, like DTC number, and then my name, Tetron, right? But then if I go to E-Trade, it would just switch to like Seed & Co. doesn't change, and that's how they can very quickly move it through the system electronically without anybody physically doing anything, because that original name, Seed & Co. doesn't change. Just the second part of it, even my name doesn't change. Just the reference number. And even if my name changed, let's say I sent it from myself to somebody else, it's easy. It's still electronic. You just switch out the name as well as the DTC number, and those are the two reference points. But they're all the reference points, but Seed & Co., the name never actually changes because it's all in the name Seed & Co. And Seed & Co. is the participant for the DTC, and then the DTC is running the NSCC, which runs the ACAT system, which runs it back and forth. So it all is just a giant circus at the end of the day. And they all have this. If you look on any brokerage transfer form, they have directions like the DTC number. Let's see, non-ACAT transfers are completed outside of the electronic ACAT system. These transfers usually involve the movement of securities between a brokerage firm and other non-brokerage firms, like mutual fund companies, transfer agents, banks, and trust companies. So I work for a trust company, so we're a non-custodian. And how every asset's named, it's like trust company, FBO, the client's name and account number. And we technically hold Everything we like I that my company does and the clients invest in, we're the technical owners of it, and we're holding it on their behalf. But it's self-directed IRA, so it's whatever. I don't want to get too into it too much. So it's on their behalf. So it's not actually like them themselves owning the assets. It's because their IRA owns the assets, and we allow them to invest in private assets through their IRA, like through fees and stuff like that. It's more so for like people with a lot of money. I've seen some stuff about self-directed IRAs and GameStop, and I can tell you, from like I don't want to say who I work for, but basically, there's been calls, and it'd be crazy if somebody would watch my channel, and maybe I've talked to someone out there I didn't even know it, but there's been calls about people who want to invest in GameStop, but the issue is we don't hold public securities, so they'd have to transfer IRA to us and then transfer to computer share. But because we're ineligible to hold public securities, because we're a non-ACAT custodian, you can't do GME in a self-directed IRA unless you create an entity, an LLC in the self-directed IRA. Your self-directed IRA owns the LLC, and then you could transfer money in from IRA to IRA, then transfer money from the IRA to the LLC. Then your LLC could buy shares of GameStop on computer share in the name of that LLC. But that LLC wouldn't be owned by you as an individual. It would be owned by your IRA account, but custodianed by my company. So you couldn't transfer new shares in, you could buy new shares. And I thought about doing it honestly to have shares like a Roth IRA, but creating an IRA LLC, that's what it's called if you look it up, it costs a lot of money. And you have to get it professionally done because it has to be properly written, basically saying that you're the manager of it, like you get to make the decisions, but you yourself can't profit, only your IRA is allowed to profit. So there's a lot of like stuff around it, but that's a little bit of a tangent there. But point is, seeing the back office of transfers has allowed me to understand very well. And then when you DRS to computer share, it removes that name of like Seed and Co. And that's why it's a non-ACAT transfer to computer share, because then it just gets booked into the individual's name. And for example, like I have Tetron LLC for this YouTube channel, and I was like already putting money into the LLC just cause, like put money aside, and I didn't even know what I was gonna do with my LLC. Like I just knew I wanted to have a business before I was even doing this YouTube channel, but I just made it all tie together nicely. Point is, I have GameStop shares in an LLC, like in my LLC under Tetron. So I have a computer share account for myself as an individual, and then I also have an LLC account, and that is, for the LLC, and it would be the same if it was an IRA. But a little bit of a tangent there, but that's some insight on self-directed IRAs and why I have insight on understanding transfers. And obviously just studying computer share is really interesting. There was actually a scenario where I was actually able to help, like, we were transferring out because the asset went public, and I was helping the representative at Ameriprise I was talking to. She was super chill, so I'm like, listen, actually, and I would never say this to a client, like talking on the phone, but because she's back office, I was like, it's okay. I'm like, so I invest in this stock, like I invest in a company, and I transfer my shares to computer shares, so I'm familiar with their processes. And I was actually able to help her like understand the inverse of transferring out of computer share, like into the name of Ameriprise, because they re-registered Ameriprise, FBO, name and account number. I'm like, listen, now you have to ask them to transfer it from the transfer agent to the actual brokerage, so they have to do an ACAT for you. Now we did a non-ACAT to them, and now they have to do an ACAT to you. So my knowledge of computer share is actually able to help me in that scenario, which I thought was pretty cool. Like whenever my worlds like spill over, I just thought that was interesting. Like there was a day in my office, like it was crazy, where everybody was talking about like, yeah, this like Reddit guy, because there was somebody trying to transfer like GameStop in, and it was like a huge thing in the chats, and I was like, this is so funny that everybody's talking about this. Everyone's like, I don't understand, and everybody was looking through Superstonk at the memes, and they're like, what is this Reddit? And I was like, and that's kind of what everybody knew. I was like, GameStop guy. I'm like, what if I told you I'm very familiar with all this? But it's funny. If all shares are registered at computer share, does it not become centralized again? Or that's a good question. And thank you for being here. I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to say your name, but truth is, that is uncharted waters. It's never happened in all of history. And I say, let's see what happens, right? Let's just go ahead and see what happens over time. I'll just personally keep registering shares. It seems like other individuals are. And of course, do your research, do your due diligence before you do that. Do not blindly listen to me. Do not blindly listen to other people. Understand what a transfer agent is. Understand what computer share is before you're going to go ahead and move your shares there, if you're going to make that decision. But what I'm saying is if the shares just keep getting registered, it doesn't even have to be all of them, because the end of the day, if the company just succeeds and just grows naturally, that will lead to buying in, whether it's institutions or individuals, whatever. Can't hold it down forever if the company's succeeding and turning profit and then starts delivering value in the term of share buybacks, dividends, maybe a one-time special dividend, maybe a special dividend that's in the form of an NFT, maybe there's acquisitions down the line, all these different things. You can't suppress the price for whatever when the company's succeeding. You just simply can't. So all these underlying things, I think, will kind of just bubble to the surface. And then at that point, too, this is different than January of 2021 because individuals that have taken the time to register shares, in my eyes, and I believe myself as to be this type of individual, they've registered shares in their name. They're taking their time to understand what that means, how to do it, how to go about it. So I'm not going to just sell if the price just goes up a lot out of excitement. I know what I have here. I understand what this company's going in the long term, and I understand my standpoints. Whereas January 2021, let's be honest, that was a lot of chaos. And could you imagine if somebody told you January 28th, the day the buy button was removed, or day after, whatever, you're going to know so much more about GameStop in a few years from now? Are you really like this saga is just this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just the beginning. And at that time, nobody really had that much knowledge. Like anybody that was in prior to 2021 had a lot of knowledge. I'll be honest, I wasn't. My friend was telling me about it in December of 2020, and I was like, "Bro, what is it you talking about?" And I was thinking, I'm like, I don't get it, but I'm like, I don't know. Like there must be something here. And then I was just like, "Damn, this is crazy." And then afterwards, in hindsight, I'm like, "God damn, crazy." But point is, the price appreciates now, and the company's succeeding. Any kind of FOMO, any kind of buying in, it wouldn't take a lot of volume to move the stock. That's what I'm saying. And if you look at the volume and relative to how much GameStop moves, we haven't had any significant volume in a long time. I think any kind of significant volume could move the stock so substantially. It's because shares are registered to individuals. Just less shares are trading hands as a whole. They're just being booked into individuals' names. They're not moving in this ACAT system day to day. It's not being traded by traders. It's not being written into options. None of it, because none of that happens when the shares are in the name of individuals. So I think it just amplifies everything. A common misconception, people are like, oh, DRS, is it working? Ooh, or this or that. But I'm like, it's not supposed to just work. It's just supposed to register shares. And over time, if it just keeps more and more, and then all of a sudden all of them are registered, it would be like, wait a minute. It's on a silver platter to the whole world of what's really happening, because it'd just be all obvious through the numbers. But even before that happens, it doesn't even have to get to that, because in my eyes, it's just about amplifying, in the sense, if people start buying into GameStop because they're succeeding, they launched Gmerica, it's something big, is showing profit growth in a year or two from now, whatever it is, then these people that are registering shares, such as myself, are not just going to sell from that price action. So any little bit of buying is just going to shoot the price up so much, because it's so, like, what was I used to say? The shares are just so illiquid. They're so just not changing hands, because people are investing in it now, not just getting into it for the hype. And that's why it's funny. All these things like, oh, the Wall Street bets people are, oh, the meme traders, or this or that, like traders. No, it's investors. Back then it was traders. It's investors now, and it's just so much different to me. And that's such a huge X factor. And that's why DRS amplifies everything, because it just shows there's a good chunk of shares that probably ain't moving anywhere through the ACAT system, through option contracts, anything, upon any kind of hype or positive news for GameStop. And that just simply wasn't the case at the start of 2021. But yeah, that's what I think. Yep, Gmerica, Tetron helping people on the phone. Dude, it's fun. It's quite the time. Yeah, no, it's funny when I started my office job, GameStop's the way, getting me jacked. Dude, appreciate you, XFit. Appreciate it. Yeah, just try and spit some facts out here. That's all. I love having coffee before a stream. I realize I need that. It's that little bit of extra jolt of energy. I do drink coffee in the morning, but I try not to have it as much. But I don't know. I kind of like the jolt it gives me. Um, Get me jacked. Jacked to the tits. Liquid. Yeah, it seems like shares are liquid in the sense, just they're not easily moving back and forth the same way they once were, just because people are pulling them out of the DTC into their own name. And yeah, on the phone, it's mad funny. So when I started the office, people like they taught me, they're like, oh, okay, like you might have to just deal with an escalated customer. You gotta like know how to handle it. It was like don't like it's okay if you need or support or whatever. And I was like, which obviously you want to hear that. And I'm not saying they shouldn't say that. I'm not trying to say like, oh, my company's soft or something like that. No, my company's awesome. But I just laughed and thought, damn, I used to be a Marshall sales floor manager, and I used to be the manager on duty. I had someone throw some shit at me once. Like I've been cursed out. Like I've taken the heat. And I told them like I was like, rest assured, if there's an escalated client or somebody upset on the phone, I am not going to be bothered. I'll be able to handle it because I dealt with that in my face. Anybody that's worked retail, shout out to you, especially something like a Marshalls or like a Target or a Walmart. It's craziness. It's a circus. And being a manager in that, especially at a young age, because like keep in mind, guys, like I'm only 22 right now, and I quit Marshalls in December 2021. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was right before the start. Yeah, because I finished college in the first semester of no, I finished college at the end of 2021. So it was the beginning. Yeah, I finished at 2021. So I means I quit in the middle of I quit in the summer of 2021. Damn, almost 2 years ago at this point. So at that point, I quit like right as I was turning 21. So it was so hard, but I mean, obviously, I learned a ton from it, just having to deal with people and just seeing people like from all different walks of life. Because I'm working with anywhere from kids that just don't give a shit about the job, and I'm like, yo, you have to do your role because I will get in trouble. I'm like, do you want to fuck me over? I'm like, I would literally say to these kids, I'm like, because to me, I mean, I say to kids like, because by the time I'm managing, I'm like 19, 20, and like they're like 16, 17, so they're dicking around, and I'm like, yo, listen, I'm like, I'm the chill manager, and I'm not like, you know what I mean? I wasn't saying that to like pump my own tires. I was like, I'm the chill manager. Like, I'm not gonna be able to be chill if you keep fucking around, because then they're seeing that, or they're like gonna give me a hard time because you're not doing it. Like, you guys have to work. Like, it's so annoying having to deal with that. But where I'm going with this is, I work with that up to older people that have worked in retail all their life, and you feel bad seeing them like not even making more than these stupid kids being so lazy, and they're so frustrated by because they've been in the industry forever, and it's their whole life. That's all they know. That's all they've ever done. Like these, middle to later aged people, like retail's always been their role. And maybe they're like not a manager, but there's some kind of like coordinator. That's what we called it in Marshalls and things like that. So I saw their walks of life and their perspective, of because they, like I really feel like I was blessed enough to get along a lot with the younger people and the older people up and down the age totem pole at my job. So the older people, like, what they say to me is like, these kids don't understand, like, this is always what we've done. I mean, indirectly, I was not saying that. This is always how things have been. And like, I just saw a lot of life perspective from that. And I feel like, sorry, I'm kind of ranting right now, but where I'm going is, these people like of younger age just didn't see it that way. And then I would say to them, like, listen, think about if you were so and so who's been here 10 plus years or been with the company or whatever, and this is all she's ever done. Wouldn't you be frustrated if some kids in here just fucking around, just trying to get a paycheck? Like, you know what I mean? And making their job harder. So I'm like, just be nice to them. Like, you should feel bad that they've had to work this for such a long time, and it's such a grind. And, I always try to say, like, listen, if you were in their shoes, you'd probably be like super pissed at you right now if you were them. But I don't know. That's a kind of a complete tangent about my old job. But let's get back to the numbers here. Um, Liquid 60% DRS free float, only 4% left, right? Then what happens? Only have 10% DRS. Hey, whiskey, it's all about what you feel comfortable with. Always do your research, And for me personally, shares individually in my name, I have at Computershare, but then I have lots of shares in both traditional and a Roth IRA that are in Fidelity Brokerage. But again, that's just me personally. I really believe in everybody making their own decisions, but make yourself aware of what Computershare is, to everybody out there if you're not already. And yeah, Expert, I think you're right. It's about 60% of the float. But honestly, I don't even like take institutional shares like that seriously in that count. I more so look at it like insiders plus just shares outstanding. So I feel like that's kind of, or sorry, insiders plus DRS shares. I take that number combined and then minus your shares outstanding. To me, that's how many real shares are kind of left in circulation, because who's to say how many of those shares are potentially sold multiple times over? Potentially, allegedly. But something I've been saying, and it's kind of what this live stream is all about, though. Just going on tangents again. Appreciate all of you being here. Let's get into Credit Suisse because we never actually did that. Let's see when the actual last report was. So yeah, it looks like they never came out with Q4, right? Because of that delay. I think this is what I opened before and it crashed. Imagine it crashed again. That'd be nuts. Okay, here we go. Digging into the numbers. And again, I said this before, I'll say it again. I'm not trying to be a genius on this stream. Never. Like, I'm never going to present you with like groundbreaking information. Like, you're like, oh my God, he just cracked the matrix, right? Like, none of that here. I'm just here to like learn and show you live like my thought process and stuff like that. Just try and keep things like pretty simple. And yeah, that's what we're going to do on this balance sheet here. Because again, I said this before, but I'll say it one more time. I'm no genius with bank balance sheets. Like, I'm really just starting to wrap my head around them, especially with everything going on. I'm taking a closer look at them. I've obviously looked at them in the past, but I haven't invested directly in a bank. Hence, because I've never felt like I fully understood the balance sheet or fully understand the financials of banks. And now seeing everything happening, I'm certainly glad I'm not invested in a bank, right? But that's just me. Everyone out there, do your research and due diligence, always important. Um, Assets under management and net new cash flows. Let's see. So this is Q3, Q2, than the year before. So their assets are falling in value, which makes sense. A lot of assets were kind of inflated in value over time, just throughout everything going on. See what the fuck do these mean? Leverage statistics. This is going down, so that makes me think going down is probably not good. These numbers are kind of holding steady. Shares outstanding. So they issued more since last year. They've already a little bit more. That's crazy. That's the book value, which just tells me something is off here. Damn, 51,000 employees. That's actually crazy, though. And a little bit more than last year. At a glance, Swiss Bank Division offers comprehensive advice. This is what I was kind of talking about before. I want to say about like what the Swiss regulations are and a wide range of financial solutions to private, corporate, and institutional clients primarily. Um, I don't know what the fuck that means. I guess that just means like primarily like nested there. Home market of Switzerland. Our private client business has leading franchises in Switzerland, including HNW, Fluent, retail, and small business clients. In addition, we provide consumer finance services through our subsidiary Bank Now and the leading credit card brands through our investment in Swisscard, AECS, GmbH. Our corporate and institutional clients, business serves large corporate clients, small and medium enterprises, institutional clients, financial institutions, and commodity traders. Okay. That doesn't tell me much about the regulations, but that's fine. Where should we start? They break it down each one. Oh, he's clicking go. Oh, excuse me. That's nice. Get some water real quick here. But damn, yeah, I felt good buying GME below 17 today. I feel like 17. I mean, personally, 17 is like my favorite number. That was my number when I played hockey. So that was dope. So anything below 17, it literally means like nothing, that number, but I just like the number. So anything below, I'm like, you know that meme? That guy's like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, that's how I feel about GME under 17 right now, personally. But reported income. Okay, I don't want to read that. Let's just look at the actual numbers. So net revenues are going up. They actually cut selling and general administrative costs. Okay. A little bit of compensation. So you see them starting to kind of cut back. Cost to income. What does that mean? See? And return on regulatory capital. Suddenly so high. Damn, I should have got ChatGPT going before this. And damn, I just realized I don't think chat is reloading on the side. Ah, I'm so stupid. This is why. There we go. Right, hopefully. We'll see. Whatever. We're rocking with it. Okay, this is what you gotta do, guys. Let's see. Client is the amount of capital a bank has to hold required by the financial regulator. Okay. So they're reporting bigger and bigger returns on the regulatory capital, but if it's the required amount of capital a bank or other financial institutions to hold required by the regulators, aren't the regulators not requiring them to hold very much? So maybe this is because they're burning through cash. I guess we'll see as we continue to move down here. And at any point, if anybody has some insight on this, literally feel free to throw it in the chat. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the side here. And again, if you're here, drop that like. It would be much appreciated. Thank you. And thank you for being here. Yeah, it's not a very good definition. Okay, I think that told me kind of what I need to know. Let's see this. Keep it open though. Let's see, restructuring expenses, not much. Might have to do more of that soon. Cost to income. I kind of like this Brave AI thing. I mean, everything's freaking going towards AI search engines, so we'll see how that goes. Soon Bing will have it on there. Do they yet? I don't even know. Who would ever thought I'd be using Bing? Let's see what they say. Do they have an AI that's going to give me something? Nope, not yet. But okay, to calculate cost to income, you divide your operating cost by operating income and multiply by 100. So for example, if a company's operating cost is 25,000 and their operating income is 80,000, then the equation would look like this. So it would be 31.5%. So what does that mean if it's going down? So let's see. Right, okay, so let me just stop, back up and think for a second, because let me just kind of work through things. If it's going down, right, so last year, at the same time it was at 93%. Last quarter, it was even at 89%. So that would mean either one of these numbers is going down. So if the cost is going up, then it would be a lower percentage, right? So either costs are going up and or operating income is going down. Because if in this scenario, let's say it was 30 divided by 75,000, right? That ratio would be going up, that number. Or would it be going down? So it'd be going up. Okay. Cost to income. Yeah, see, not very familiar with this. Let's see. So I guess let's start first. Let's see if theoretically it went from 30 to 80. So that would make it go up. The total, so if this is going down, that would make me think costs are getting cut. I don't know. I'm going to move on from this. If anybody has insight, again, not too familiar with that. So that's kind of tripped me up there, but we'll keep moving on for now. We'll circle back. Management fees went down. Net revenues up. Recurring commissions went down, which makes me think less people want to be reoccurring. Oh, okay, so this is division. Okay. Net revenue. Oh, see, there's so much to unpack here. Do they? Okay, report a loss. Is there like a summary of all? That's kind of what I want. A lot of asset outflows, not good. Okay, so this seems pretty significant. Let's see, assets under management, CHF billion, wealth management, Swiss bank, asset management, assets managed across businesses. So why is this negative? Let's see. It represents assets managed by asset management for other businesses. Interesting. So asset management's gone down quarter over quarter and year over year. The Swiss bank assets have gone down in value, and wealth management has as well. Which discretionary assets, advisory assets, again down. Everything down across the board. Client assets themselves down. Includes transactional accounts and assets under custody, but that's just because everything's declined, so that does make sense. 1.4 billion decrease compared to 53.3 billion compared to the end of the previous quarter. Wait, one more step back. 1,000. So what? Oh, that's their currency. That's what's tripping me up right here. But let's see. Their management by region. So not that much in America in terms of exposure, but Switzerland's the main exposure. That makes sense, but obviously they're all throughout, and this is just another contingent type of situation if something were to happen. Yeah, see, so much to unpack. Let's see. Let's go to the risk. Let's see if what they kind of highlight. Let's check chat real quick. Still haven't seen the logarithmic third eye. Oh yeah, so what I gotta actually do that. That's I'll put that on my notes. Logarithmic charts, the to-do list. Let's see. Purple Donut spam posts are kind of fishy and forum sliding. Hides a lot of useful, and sometimes I wonder who's truly benefiting here. XRP, thank you for joining. I mean, obviously everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think at the end of the day, it's fine just because it shows individuals just like the stock. That's my personal opinion on it. I think so be it. People just like to DRS and share it. And because I feel like you have to do your own research, due diligence. If you're just solely relying on Superstock, it's not really the way. Of course, there's great information there, and I totally understand what you're saying. You don't want it to get drowned out. But I feel like there's been a nice balance over time. I don't go on as much, but I feel like I just kind of like that lots of purple circles are going to be in between, and then everything else will just be whatever else is going on. And anything big happening, the truth is, you'll want to look at GameStop investor relations. If the news is from anywhere else, it's really hard to trust it unless it comes from GameStop themselves. It comes from like the horse's mouth or whatever the expression is. So for that reason, I don't think it really matters too much because Superstock, also a lot of different things going on there. A lot of, some people say controversy. I don't know, whatever you want to say, or drama, whatever. Point is, I wouldn't just use Superstock for my news, so I don't mind that there's a lot of purple circles. But hey, that's just me. Definitely suspects RP. Hey, yeah, whiskey. You got your opinion, man. You're definitely welcome to have that. GTII, jump on this train. It will be leaving the station soon. Check it out. GTII, check it out, folks. All right, J Pong, let's check it out. What do we got here? I don't know about that, but if you're here because you think I'm a meme trader, my friend, I'm sorry, but I hate to break it to you, but that's just not quite me. I'm an investor in GameStop because I like the stock. Not gonna lie, I find it alarming. I already see this name and this name right here associated with this, but that's just me. Hmm. Another fight back against the short sellers? Interesting. But what makes you think this is gonna go up, J Pong? I'm curious. Like, what's the catalyst, or like, is it because of this right here? Shouldn't step in company shows continued market manipulation. Wes Christian. State of this case, illegal market manipulation. It's unfortunate because I thought Wes Christian was a good guy. I remember that clip. He's like, "I'm from Texas, and where I come from, they call that stealing," or something like that, like about shares. And maybe he has good intentions, right? But I don't know. Wes Christian's been involved with GNS and a lot of these other companies that just simply don't make money. And like the best way to fight back against short sellers, in my personal humble opinion, is to just invest in the company and just believe in the company and understand that if they are going to deliver value, it will burn the short sellers. So long as the company delivers value, and that's why I like GameStop, because the individuals running the company are being compensated in shares, and their interests are aligned with shareholders' interests because they themselves are shareholders, so they can deliver value to shareholders in the long term and just hold shares, not sell them as insiders. And I really feel like that's what GameStop's moving towards. All this stuff, I mean, I understand, but this stuff costs money as well. GTII, I'm sure, has to pay this. I'm sure Wes Christian's making money out of this. That's the thing. But I'm sure it has possibility here. Let's see what you got to say. Looks good at swing trade, but if you're not used to managing a trade, you'll mess it up. Kathy Griffin, I'm not touching it. GTI, I've been in long-term uptrend, 25% year to date, and lawsuit and merger and dividends. Oh, they're going to issue dividends soon. That's kind of interesting. Let's check out their balance sheet. Let's see. But yeah, no, and I think XPit brought up a great point. There could be a trade here. That's absolutely a possibility. But me personally, I'm not interested in trading. I'm just really here for investing. Oh, not gonna lie, this kind of alarms me here at a first glance. Negative free cash flow, debt. So if they have something kind of turning the company around, I feel like that will really matter. Last GTI last Friday was up 40% when 90% of the market was in the red. Okay, that's fair, but sometimes those things happen, but it doesn't necessarily mean it might be a good trade for that reason, but I don't know if it's necessarily like an investment, but that's just me. Any stock under $4 is a lot lizard. Like what do they call them? The reptilians? I know, I'm just kidding. Ken Griffin's wife is a director. Oof, I didn't realize that whiskey. But hey, anything's possible. What's Finger Motion? Never heard of that company. Interesting. But yeah, no, J-Pong, I do wish you the best with GTII, that's for sure. Cash held at central banks. Okay. Liquidity coverage ratio was 190% as of the end of stable compared to the end of Q2, representing average 226.8 billion. Weighted value. Okay, look at the outflows versus the inflows. Not good. Pump and dump. Snacks, thank you for being here. It could be. It certainly could be. Um, let's see. Oh, okay, this is interesting. Balance sheet structure. Oof, gotta stretch the back. Okay. So, not a lot of cash. Secured financing transactions, trading assets, brokerage receivables, loans. And this is the big thing. If they keep raising interest rates and these loans are, American government bonds, if they have old loans, they fall their face value. And that's kind of what Silicon Valley Bank was doing with their average, like, government bond was paying like 1.7%, which is just garbage right now. Who on their right mind would pay that, considering you can go out there and earn like 4 or 5% on a new one? Two includes certificate deposits and commercial paper. So there's two short-term borrowings. 125. So the customer deposits are covering their loans, is what they're saying. Like, don't worry, there's plenty. Time, demand, savings. I wonder what the fuck that means. Let's see one. Where's one? Like, there's C2, 3. Reverse repo. See where anybody points this out to me. I don't know if you can see it. It says 2 includes certificate deposits and commercial paper. That's up here. Makes sense. Those have up to 1 year. Purchase agreements, including obligation to recurrent securities received as collateral. Again, not much, but where's that little 1? I'm looking for that right there. And damn, I need a real chair for down here. My back is fucking killing me. Crazy. But again, thank you all for being here. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Maybe the 1 is... Because what I'm trying to see is, where is reverse repo in this mix here? Why does it not seem like obvious unless I'm just straight up missing it? Like, we don't see a little 1 abbreviation off or anything. Let's see. You will hear more about GTII down the road, possibly than this conversation. Haha. See yous. Good night. Hey, J Pong. Wish you all the best. If Suit was here, he would utilize it. Bumped all the way to 8. Diminishing returns is what I see. I think so. You're right, Zax. But honestly, best of luck to you, J Pong. But hey, I don't know. I just don't see it. But I believe in GameStop. That's what I do know. Okay, we fund our balance sheet primarily through core customer deposits, long-term debt, including structured notes and shareholders' equity. Monitor the funding sources, including their concentrations against certain limits according to their counterparty swaps, currency, tenor, geography, and maturity, and whether they are secured or unsecured. Debt redemptions, long-term debt. Okay. Let's see. We had long-term debt of 162.6 billion, and that's in, what was that? Swiss francs? Is that what it's called? I don't even know. I forget. I think that's what it is. We had 43.1 billion and 16.7 billion in structured notes and covered bonds outstanding, respectively. Okay, short-term borrowings, as shown in the balance sheet, funding structure decreased 19%, mainly related to maturities of certificates of deposit. Okay, so I guess everything just came to maturity. Downgraded credit ratings. Yeah, honestly, guys, the challenge for me here with this is that it's in the other currency. That's like part of it, and also just again, really still getting familiar with reading bank balance sheets. But I'm just trying to encourage everyone out there. Like, this is 154 pages. It's mad intimidating, but I'm just going through it, just trying to make the most of it I can, the most understanding. Um, Oh, okay, interesting. Swiss requirements. The legislation implementing the Basel framework in Switzerland is respective of capital requirements for systemically important banks, including Credit Suisse. It goes beyond the Basel minimum standards for systemically important banks. Under the Capital Adequacy Ordinance, Swiss banks classified as systemically important banks operating internationally, such as Credit Suisse, are subject to two different minimum requirements for loss absorbing capacity. Such banks hold sufficient capital that absorbs losses to ensure continuity of service going concern requirement, and they have the most issue sufficient debt instruments to fund orderly resolution without recourse of public resources. Gone concern requirement. Going concern or going concern capital and gone concern capital together form our total loss absorbing capacity, our TLAC. The going concern and gone requirements are generally aligned with the financial stability board's total loss absorbing capacity standard. Additionally, the FIMA decreases applied to Credit Suisse with the requirements liquidity risk. Okay, that's honestly tough to understand. This is the thing, you got to really, really break this stuff down. So basically, what they're saying is they have to keep a sufficient amount of capital to absorb losses, considering they're so large and systematic, and they must issue sufficient debt instruments to fund an orderly resolution without recourse to public resources. Sounds like avoiding a bank run. Makes sense. Going to concern capital and gone concern capital together form our total loss absorbing capacity. The going concern and gone capital components are generally aligned with the Financial Stability Board's total loss absorbing capacity standard. Now, my question is whoever's running that board or whatever's running these like aspects of whatever the SEC is in Switzerland, are they doing their job? Or is it another situation of people running those entities that are also running the banks? But I feel like I'm kind of rambling here. Let's try and get back to some more numbers. Or just kind of like zoom out a little bit on the whole situation. Let's see, like, I believe I saw, let's see. Largest banks in the U.S. That's per bank, right? JP Morgan and Chase, and this is in terms of assets, not deposits. Somebody told me, I don't know if this is true, that PNC is closing all of their like physical locations actually. Let's see if we can find anything on that. And yeah, let's see how they've been doing. Oof. Look at their market cap too, 52 billion. It's a big boy right there. Interesting. Not in talk. Let's see. Ownership of the grid to better serve customers. Okay, so there's just some bullshit like touting them. I swear somebody told me they're about to close like all their branches. I'm like, what? They're gonna go like online completely. I want to say maybe it's just the local ones near me or something. I don't know. I never used PNC. Let's see. Let's see. Those 30 across 10 states starting in early 2023. So I guess not that many. 5 new branches. All right, nothing too much there, but the big four. Yep. What is that? I forget off the top of my head. Officially, it's like J.P. Morgan, Chase. Damn, it's already 9. That's crazy. It's actually crazy how fast time goes, and like when you just dive into stuff, that's really crazy. But damn, yeah, I really got to get this chat updating too. Does somebody know? Because I think I might have to kind of wind this down. I'm getting pretty tired, and I do really want to work on like a couple other things before I completely slump. Um, how do I get this fucking chat to stay? Because if I keep it open on the side, then it like doubles up. But damn, that's not what I'm trying to play. Wells is number 4. Yeah, let's look up the big 4 real quick. Where is it here? I think I just had it. What is it? Chase, Goldman. Good old Wikipedia, right? Oh, it's referring to these. I mean, that makes sense. It's one big 4. The big 4 in America. And the big 4 is like the accounting firms too, like Deloitte and whatever. Like if you look at, there's always like a different definition. Go say. Well, we could also just look right here. Right? Wells Fargo, Citigroup, Bank of America, Chase. Pretty sure that's the big 4. The ones would reference. But all of these on here are massive in size. Hey, Challenger, thank you for being here. What up? Good to see you. Crazy. Combined of 13.4 trillion assets. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Such a massive size. Wish they put deposits on here too. Crazy. And wow, look at that. First Republic, a name everybody recognizes maybe? 212 billion in assets. I mean, isn't it funny too that Silicon Valley was the 16th and this list fuck, I don't know what word I was trying to say, but consists of 15, right? Isn't that funny? Crazy. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Damn. Hey, I'd like to point out that Fidelity is bigger. That's a good point, and I think I'd much rather be at Fidelity than Schwab right now in terms of a brokerage, just considering everything going on. It's not a bank, of course. That is true. It is true. But yes, Fidelity is massive. And don't forget, Credit Suisse delayed. I went through a good amount of stuff here today. Yeah, check this out, guys. Look on other random transfer requests, like our transfer forms for custodians. Charles Schwab, E-Trade are the examples I have pulled up here, or whatever. It's making me do that now. Where's it right here? Yep, they all have this DTC reference number or clearing number, whatever you want to call it. It's for the DTC, it's for the ACAT system. It's to reference, right? To do this whole electronic bada bing, bada boom between brokerages when shares are bought and sold, transferred, whatever. All the ACAT system. But anything else spicy on this thing here? It's honestly just, I feel like too, there's so much detail in this stuff that it's like, it makes it even harder to like understand it as individuals because they make these reports so fucking complicated. Like obviously there's a lot to report and it makes sense, but god damn, like how am I supposed to just like explain all this to you guys on stream, you know? Crazy. Such losses. or counterparty failing meets financial as a result of deterioration in the credit quality for the borrower and counterparties, which credit risk exposure, measurement and management. Creditors can arise from execution of business strategy and divisions. It includes risk positions such as exposures directly held in the form of lending products, including loans and credit guarantees, or derivatives, short-term exposures such as underwriting commitments, and settled risk related to the exchange of cash or securities outside of typical delivery versus payment structures. For this and this. Loans decreased. Mainly driven by decreases in loans collateralized by securities, commercial and industrial loans, consumer mortgages, partially offset by the foreign exchange translation impact and increase in consumer finance loans. The net decrease 1.5 billion loans collateralized by securities. Rambling. So much going on here. Let's see mortgages. Collateralized loans. Yeah, so much going on here. I feel like if I go through another bank balance sheet, I'm going to have to come in a lot more prepared with some specific points I want to go over. What's this one day? 98%. Actual daily trading revenues. Okay. Interesting. I guess each day, like how well they did. Total assets decreased. Total liabilities decreased, affecting lower operating activities, partially offset by foreign exchange translation impact. Okay. Cash and due from banks going down, right? Not a good sign. Trading assets going down. Loans down. Brokerage receivables way down. Customer deposits. Okay, see, this is the summary. This is what I was trying to get to this whole time. It's 67 pages later, right? Customer deposits, 370 billion of the local currency. Still down 5%. That's pretty significant. Long-term debt, pretty much the same. But it's interesting that it's delayed. You know, we have to wonder what's coming in the next earnings, and that wouldn't even contain anything that just happened with Silicon Valley Bank, because this Q4 that Credit Suisse still has to report, you know, that's going to be from like the Q4, like that just wrapped up, like going into the start of 2023. I'm sure, I don't know exactly their like fiscal years or whatever, but point is, just effective delaying the next earnings or the next release. Like you have to wonder like what is going on, because there's some fishy stuff here. Things are just starting to look not that great. See, like shares outstanding went up ever so slightly. But yeah, this is a lot. It's a lot to understand, and that's why I don't invest in banks, guys. But say utilize or hey, I'd like to point out that Fidelity is bigger on a bank. My GameStop shares are at Wells Fargo Advisors. Thoughts? Yeah, Wells Fargo Advisors. I think you're chilling. Honestly, because it just says massive. I know everyone's like concerned about Wells Fargo, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I feel like you do due diligence expert. You know what's up. You got your shares where you think they're best. TD Ameritrade is 1.3 trillion under management. Wells Fargo Advisors is 2 trillion, and Fidelity is 9 trillion. God damn. J Pong, why would I buy GTII? Are you a Lou Clown? Suit, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. A lot lizard's gone, Suit. You missed him. It's true. Just missed him. The lot lizard. I'm dead. Dude, that's such a funny ass term. Rance was saying that yesterday too. The lot lizard. The truckers go to truck to truck. Crazy. But oh, let's see. Did First Republic Bank like come out with anything today? Like any official statement, or is it just straight up like panic? And also, let's see the shares traded. That's something I'm curious about. 132 million. Holy shit. Compared to 2 million usually. How many shares outstanding? 186. I mean, not like it traded multiple times over or anything, but still a remarkable amount of volume compared to like average, which just shows me the panic going on. Any filings or disclosures? Form 8K yesterday. So this is the one from 310 first. First proposed deposit base is strong and well diversified. Consumer deposits have an average account size less than 200,000, and business deposits have an average account size of less than 500,000. Within business deposits, no one sector represents more than 90% of total not 90 of total deposits, with the largest being diversified real estate. Technology related deposits represent only 4% of total deposits. Okay. First Republic's liquidity position remains very strong. Sources beyond a very diversified deposit base include 60 billion in available unused borrowing capacity at the Federal Home Loan Bank and the Federal Reserve Bank. Very high quality investment portfolio is stable, represents a modest percentage of bank assets. The investment portfolio is less than 15% of total bank assets. Of this, less than 2% of total bank assets is categorized as available for sale. So what they're saying is everything is fine, but clearly the weekend came and people didn't think that because then they released this on Sunday, and obviously look at the price today, March 12th. Like, when do companies release shit on Sunday, right? Unless something's obviously kind of going on. Oh, Ryan Cohen tweet. Hold on. I just saw the chat. I don't know if you guys saw my meme the other day where I was like, when Ryan Cohen tweets, and it's like the thing from SpongeBob. Damn, I didn't get a notification if you did. Damn, suit, you got me. Or my thing didn't load up. I don't know, one or the other. I'm not seeing anything. Wait, other treasurers and banks today. Oh, unless you're just referencing this, which would make sense. You know, that 700 billion. That's why I looked that up last stream. Like, that was like a 700 billion like package to like kind of produce bailouts. But it's funny, you know, like he was talking about here, like in reply to David Sachs, who was saying, the guy from like the All In podcast. That's how I know him, at least, about like Janet Yellen being in Kiev instead of like worrying about us. But damn, yeah, suit, you really got me, man. You really got me. I was like, oh, straight to Twitter, straight to Twitter. But back to the First Republic real quick. Let's see. Press release announcing additional borrowing capacity to strengthen and diversify liquidity. A copy of the press release has been attached. Okay, let's see. So the fact they made two press releases in a row, Friday and Sunday, I think kind of just shows you where the company's at, unfortunately. Because also just look at all the money pulled. Look at the stock price. It's just absolutely crushed. A leading private bank and wealth management company said it further enhanced and diversified its financial position through access to additional liquidity from the Federal Reserve Bank and J.P. Morgan Chase and Company. The additional borrowing capacity from the Federal Reserve continued to provide to access funding through the Federal Home Loan Bank, and the ability to access additional refinancing through J.P. Morgan and Company increases, diversifies, and further strengthens First Republic's existing liquidity profile. The total available unused liquidity of fund operations is now more than $70 billion. This excludes additional liquidity First Republic is eligible to receive under new bank term funding program announced by the Federal Reserve today. Jim Herbert, founder and executive chairman, and Mike Roffler, CEO and president of First Republic Bank, said First Republic's capital and liquidity positions are very strong, and its capital remains well above the regulatory threshold for well-capitalized banks. As we have done since 1985, we operate with an emphasis on safety and stability at all times. The next day, the stock price was down 65%. And by the way, it was halted like what, 40 times today? Literally, I'm not even kidding, like 39 or 40 times it was halted today in a single day. And this is a press release the day before, thinking it's all going to be all right. And look what unfolded. As we have done since 1985, we operate with emphasis on safety and stability of all times while maintaining a well-diversified deposit base. Do you, though? It seems like customers are pulling the deposits today. Regardless, First Republic continued to fund loans, process transactions, and fully serve the needs of clients by delivering exceptional service. Yeah, about it, whatever. But basically, they just put out a thing saying, like, we have money, like, don't worry. And we and Morantz were kind of talking about this yesterday, and he's just really highlighting it well, where it's like, people are just seeing it now, even the realm of possibility. Why would you want your money at a small bank? That's what people are thinking for anybody relatively wealthy. And like what I was kind of saying is, even let's say I'm a rich guy who's like, I create some crazy technology product, like I make a fuck ton of money, I sell it to a company, I have all this money, I don't know what to do, right? What do I do if I'm in those shoes? I have a team of guys or a guy that's my financial guy, whatever. And I'm asking them like, yo, is my money where it should be in this bank, or like should I be at a different bank? Like, what do you think? Like, I'm telling them like, and if you don't know, go find someone who does and get back to me because I'm fucking rich, right? Like, I feel like that's the perspective of what's going on right now. And then all those people, like they're the guy, you know what I mean? It obviously could be a gal, you know what I'm saying? Generally, like somebody who has a lot of money but isn't like following stocks and finance and everything going on. They're just reading headlines and like, what the heck is going on? Is my bank good? If it's not, move it right now, please. Even if you have a doubt, make it happen. So all those dudes are working overtime over the weekend. You know what I mean? And now Monday morning comes. A lot of people just, even the fact there's doubt in First Republic, it just shows right here. And I just wonder if you could see like deposit outflows. Like, is there any stats on that? Like bank deposit outflows. I wonder if there's any stats on it in real time. That'd be crazy. Damn, you got me too. Imagine if you did tweet though. That'd be awesome, suit. It would be awesome. What is this? Fucking 2018. What is that gonna do for me? Let's see. I hate reading mainstream media, but see what they have to say. Cause I just want like summary, or I just want a narrative of what the news is going about, if that kind of makes sense. See what they're saying. Shares of U.S. regional banks slumped on Monday, led by sharp loss in First Republic Bank. Okay. Has been able to meet withdrawal demands with the help of additional funding from J.P. Morgan Chase and Midcap Lunch's executive chair, Jim Herbert. So let's see who this guy is. And what this basically just confirms what we kind of saw like in their official press release right here is like, not to worry, because they obviously saw like all the withdrawals coming over the weekend. So like, not to worry. J.P. Morgan and the Fed have our back. We're all good. Everything's fine. Don't worry. And still, obviously, everyone was like, "What the fuck? Why do they have to have your back?" And started running out of there. So like a lot of these other names, I'm sure the same kind of thing. Whatever is needed, President Biden says. Okay. And you know what's crazy? The White House literally tweeted over the weekend that the like Biden's economic plan is working. Like who's thinking that's a good idea to tweet that when the 16th largest bank goes under? Like it's kind of crazy. Like maybe that's not exactly correlated, but like I don't know. Like when you talk about economics, you know. Damn. So San Francisco Bank Corp. What's that? And why was he CEO there all the way up until last year? Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. Let's get it from the source itself. Founded it and served as CEO for 37 years from 2007. He also served as chairman. He was appointed executive chairman in 2022. Previously, he was founding chief executive officer, president, and director of San Francisco Bank Corp from 1980 to 1985. He served as Federal Reserve's 12th district member of the Federal Advisory Council from 2018 to 2012. Of course, he served on the Fed. And was also a member of the U.S. Departments of the Treasury's Community Development Advisory Board. Of course, literally, of course. Mr. Herbert holds board trustee positions with the Basic Fund, chairman, San Francisco Ballot Association, formerly chair, Lincoln Center of the Performing Arts, executive committee, New York, and Forge Global. Mr. Herbert formerly served as a trustee of Babson College. He is also founder and board chair of Chelsea Factory, New York, arts-focused nonprofit. So he's probably just, putting money into that, tax write-offs or whatever. New York University, Harvard Business School CEO, blah, blah, blah. But this is the big thing right here to me. U.S. Department of the Treasury's Community Development Advisory Board. He was there, and he's also Federal Advisory Council, for the Federal Reserve's 12th district member of the Advisory Council. Like, it's crazy that the whole council and everybody running things is literally the same people regulating it. It's like that scene in The Big Short when that girl, they're like talking to him, or they like go to talk to her, and she's like, "Ooh, you see that guy over there? He's with Goldman. I'm gonna go talk to him." They're like, "You're a regulator. Isn't there some kind of rule against that?" She's like, "What? No." Like, I don't think I'm describing the scene that great, but like, damn, it's crazy that that's how it all works. It's literally like, watch The Big Short again, guys. Watch The Big Short. Like, it's nuts. It's actually Crazy, and it seems like we're at that part of that movie where it's like, oh my god, it's happening. When you hear about like Silicon Valley, like that's like the first domino, right? And I don't know. Regardless, I'll just focus on GameStop at the end of the day, and I'm just glad that I hold an asset that I believe in because right now it's hard to, people are even doubting their cash in their bank. Like this is kind of just a crazy time, and I mean, I think, everything always in the stock market as a whole and just economic markets always, and just how about the media as a whole? It's always an overreaction. So just take things step by step. Like I'm no genius. I'm not going to say, oh, well, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. But I'm just saying, just keep evaluating things as things continue to unfold in real time as best we can. And that's why I'm doing these live streams. That's why you guys are individuals coming out here doing your research, bouncing ideas off me, and just conversing. So yeah, I'll just keep keeping an eye on it. But this guy, U.S. Department of Treasury's Community Development Advisory Board, and also Fed Advisory Council, Fed Reserve's 12th District member. Crazy. Absolute craziness, but it's insane to me, you know? It's so all connected. It's like Morantz's series, Connect the Dots. It's just crazy. All the connections that are there when you really, really take a deep dive. But my broker never tell me nothing. Can it please just be 3-21? Facts, Freshmaker. Facts. I'm really trying to do a collab stream with Morantz, actually. I think we're going to do that on earnings, so that should be fun. Looking at earnings in real time. I'm going to try to work from home that day, so I can hopefully just hop into things, second I clock out of work, so I can just fully focus GameStop, everything they come out with, analyze that earnings report head to toe, every little piece. What is the DRS count? What's free cash flow going to be? What's net income going to look like? What's top line revenue going to look like? I'm so curious about all these things. So, and it's what, 3, 2, 1? Boom. Funny enough, 3-21. Like, it probably means nothing, but hey, it's still exciting. Imagine they just launched Gmerica. Be nuts. It's just like, all right, surprise, Gmerica's here. You'd have to think sooner than later. I mean, the patent is what, like still filing? Like, is there any update on that real quick? Let me look. Then I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream. I know I always say that like 17 times, but I really think I'm gonna wrap it up this time. When their curtain falls, bring it down. It's the way to go, man. It's the way to go. Next bit, you know the vibes. Search. Okay. Why is this not coming up? Okay. Doesn't want to come up right now, huh? All right, guys. I'm not going through all this. I haven't seen the latest, but we'll talk about that at another point. I think Gmerica, it's coming sooner than we think because the patent was originally filed back in 2021. There's a tweet of GameStop saying our favorite place to game Gmerica or something like that. Or something about like Gmerica, like just tweeted something like July of 2021. And someone replied like Canadian AP or something. What does Gmerica mean? Just curious, or what does Gmerica mean or something? And then GameStop replied on their Twitter saying, my favorite place to game. So you have to think it's some kind of something tying everything together, the e-commerce, the digital collectibles, the NFT like wallet, the crypto wallet, like just the wallet itself, the marketplace, the digital collectibles involved in all that, the Web3 games they're onboarding through Immutable X. You have to feel like, or I feel like, you don't have to feel like, I don't know, but I feel like it's all coming together to Gmerica to tie it together in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's, its own client, right? Its own, like, GameStop eventually has their own, like, client, their own, in-house branded, like, keyboards. They already have, like, one keyboard. Maybe they launch more keyboards, right? Like, their own headsets, everything. Maybe they, even their own computer part. I mean, not computer parts. That's kind of like, I mean, like for example, like the case of the computer, they could have a GameStop brand of that. When I build a computer, I'd rather buy a GameStop computer case, or like when I say case, like the actual like base of when you build a computer to put it in, and like put all the parts together in and all that. And I'm gonna have my cousin help me with that. Shout out to him, Dean the Dream. So maybe I'll make a video on that too. I'll be like building my Tetron builds a PC with the cousin Dean the Dream. So maybe that'll be a fun video. But Yeah. Gaming centers, the return of StarCraft. Maybe, maybe it's like metaverse type of gaming centers where it's like a 3D type of experience, and like I don't think it's gonna be some corny like stupid looking metaverse. Like if GameStop's gonna do some metaverse type of vibes, it's gonna be legit. I just knowing how they run things and how they operate, they wouldn't just do it to half-ass it. Like it's not gonna look like Decentraland or what's that other one? I don't know, Sandbox, which I don't know that much about either of those, so maybe both of those have some greater purpose or whatever. But my point is, they look like super old, like video games, you know. So GameStop's gonna have to have some real something, and maybe it's a way, like, and then you could also shop on GameStop's actual websites for their actual like e-commerce items in some kind of like metaverse world or whatever, but again, some kind of sharp metaverse world. And there's also gaming centers there that are Web3 gaming centers because it's a digital world. But then maybe you can shop GameStop directly in this like Web3 type of world. And when you buy the item, it'll actually like, you know, you'll use your GameStop account and you'll actually like ship the item physically to your house. But then maybe you also get an NFT, like a digital collectible for your avatar in Gmerica of the item you ordered. So like let's say I ordered a GameStop t-shirt, maybe I get a GameStop t-shirt in Gmerica, or even if it's something like, let's say like a phone charger. Like I have the Millennium Falcon phone charger that GameStop sells. I'll show you guys real quick. Phone charger, GameStop should come right up. Yep, right here. I have this on my desk at work. Um, so like let's say I bought this in the like not the metaverse, sorry, like Gmerica in like a digital world. But then there's like I don't know, like an actual Millennium Falcon or something cool like that, or like even if it's just a desk accessory in the metaverse, like when I have my own like Gmerica room or whatever it is or something. I don't know. I'm kind of going on various different ideas here, but I really feel like what Gmerica is ultimately going to be is something that ties everything together, including one other thing I was saying before, like the wallet, the NFT marketplace, and you know the digital collectibles, Web3, e-commerce, everything digital. You know, I really feel like that's all going to kind of come together. But this right here, join Pro and score $5 a month in bonus rewards. You have to wonder if Pro membership will tie into Web3 in some way sooner than later, and that maybe will tie into Gmerica. And eventually, you know, maybe even if GameStop rose their Pro membership to like 17.99 or even 19.99, that's another massive increase in revenue for the company, and that's reoccurring revenue. And to me, I would have no problem paying $20 a year to be a GameStop Pro Rewards member. I mean, maybe some people do, but I don't. I think with the passion behind the brand right now, for the most part, you would maintain more than lose, and you would actually make more money as a company. So that's another way they could just slightly boost profits over time. I mean, it just makes sense for membership fees to go up over time, just considering inflation, just general fees. But at the same time, you know, to keep your customers coming in the door, just keep a nice, simple yearly membership. But I don't know. That's just kind of some of my thoughts here. But check chat one more time, then we're gonna wrap it up. My phone died. I don't get these laptop emojis. That's funny. I put one of those in before when the stream was like fucked up. I'm like, let me throw an emoji in here real quick. So in other countries, it's really common to have gaming centers, which are rooms filled with computers and kids playing League of Legends, and they pay per hour. Bro, I totally own that charger. It's on my desk. Def recommend. Hey, no, Xbit. I literally have my desk at work. I would show you right now if I was at work, but I brought it there just because I needed a charger at work. And I'm like, yeah, this is dope. This is a flex. And then when someone asked me, oh, where'd you get that? GameStop. So yeah, but that's interesting, Expo, what you say. I actually have been to a gaming center once, but relatively close to me with like a friend, and like we went to play League, and yeah, they're just like super computers, and yeah, we just paid to like rent it, and like you just buy like it was interesting. Like I went in high school, and then they just had like snacks for sale, like literally right there. I'm like, sweet, like buy a bag of chips, and we just play some League of Legends in here. This is kind of lit, and like literally like one of our moms like dropped off or something, so like literally like early high school or maybe even middle school. I don't know. But yeah, so I've had that experience XBit, but it closed down the one I know of near me relatively after the pandemic kind of hit, which makes sense because yeah, like you kind of said, it's more so common in other countries, I guess, not here. But I didn't even really know that it was common in other countries, so that's good information. And I do have to wonder if GameStop goes global. You know, could it be a thing? And talking about global, like more so global, obviously they're already global. Um, could a thing be that I trying to say? They're global. Totally losing my train of thought. No, no, no. I had a good idea. Oh, Web3 and gaming, play to earn for me and you, maybe as individuals using US dollars, like it's nothing. Like when I was playing Gods Unchained, I haven't played that in a minute. I gotta hop back on that actually. Um, you're not gonna make like a killing from that. Like it's not gonna be like, oh, bread, like yeah, play to earn. Like you're mostly playing for fun and you just get a little bit of money here and there. But think about it, if you're in like a foreign country, an underdeveloped country where your currency is like shit relative to the US dollar or like very weak, getting rewarded in like immutable X and then redeeming for US dollar, like that might be a lot for you. And then you convert it to your local currency. And like while gaming still even in that scenario wouldn't necessarily just make you like serious bread, maybe it at least, you know, kind of just gets the ball rolling. Like it kind of just gives you that little bit of extra income you need. And then, you enjoy gaming too. So it's like, yeah, I want to be the best. And then it creates like competitions within Web3, just more incentive for individuals to play the game because there's just more competition. It gets more competitive. More people want to be the best to earn rewards, different things that can happen through the blockchain. And throwing out just a lot of different ideas out there. But yeah, so it's a lot more common in other countries like Asia. We aren't used to that here in the States. That's what I'm saying. It's really common in other countries. We don't have it here. Yeah, no, Xped. I'm glad you brought up that point, man. That's some facts right there. And yeah, I guess I should look that up real quick. And then I'm really gonna wrap it up. Gaming centers across world. Oh, would you look at that? Virtual reality gaming centers appearing across Canada. Interesting. Simplicity esports to acquire, play live, pairing recreational play. Let's see. Interesting. Simplicity esports to acquire, play live, pairing recreational play with competitive gaming. Simplicity esports and Game Center announced its acquisition of Play Live Nation Incorporated, a gaming lounge franchise with nearly 4 dozen locations across the U.S., moving Bridges esports closer to offline between friends. Interesting. Sweden home the world's biggest gaming center. That's huge. Damn. NASA's Mission Control Center. That does look dope. Got the cafe. The upsells. Can't say that these days. Cancel. Oh, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Yes, Tetron agreed. VR centers are something that is not common. Maybe that's the future. Yeah, let's see. I mean, it doesn't really seem to be happening in the United States, but you bring up a great point, Xbit, that it's going around the world. And I think, GameStop's global reach, they don't have to necessarily go open stores. They can, just ship e-commerce worldwide as they just make their operations more efficient. And, they can do these digital centers. They can use digital opportunities to just go worldwide. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for today. I like GameStop, GME, stonk for me. But hey, that's just me at the end of the day. Hope everyone out there has a good night. Keep an eye on the banks, keep an eye on everything, do your research, do your due diligence. It's always important. But everyone out there, take care.